What?
CD duplication. Who does CDs anymore?
You'd be surprised how many people get them.
Okay, you tell me any of them.
Somebody bought 500 CDs today.
Yeah, cool. Kofi buys CDs.
Yeah. But still, I don't have.
I mean, there's still companies putting out. I follow this guy. I think his name is Techman or something like that on YouTube, and he reviews like old and outdated technology. Mm-hmm. And there's this. It was kind of like a mini cassette, like really, really small, but not the kind you use for like those recorders. It almost looks like a little VHS, less like a cassette. And he was talking about how there's companies still putting out music on those. There was one company that put their music out in a Game Boy Color game.
That's cool.
And then, I mean, because their music was all like techno kind of beep, 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 beep. So
like that bit, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Bit,
8 or 16.
like 8-bit music?
Yeah.
Yeah, 8-bit, 16-bit.
Yeah.
All right, let me make sure I got this all up. Okay, that's looking good. I'll bump that down a bit.
That's a good little selection, isn't it?
Bump that down a bit.
2 Oktoberfest. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I gotta go ahead and drink those Oktoberfest before they get funky. Any viewers who are watching right now, sorry, I gotta try to make sure everybody's in focus. So it's gonna get real close to you, man. I'll be okay with that. Boom. It like zoomed in, like right on your beard.
Really?
Yeah, you'll see it here.
Probably have some gray hairs in there somewhere.
You'll see it here in a second. Yeah.
That's cool.
No, I got all the gray hairs. I'm rocking them now. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I mean, let them grow.
Well, what's going on, guys? I know we kind of had a little. We weren't like right on you guys right when we started up. And that's okay. Hopefully, you guys are cool with that. Welcome to Trade Skills. If you haven't been here before, if you haven't watched, I usually interview locally skilled people or like unique people and drink beer with them and talk about what they do. And when I don't, I just drink with people or I drink by myself. There's usually beer involved in almost all of it. I haven't come across anybody yet who doesn't. Well, I'll take that back. A couple episodes ago, Solomon, who's a skater, he doesn't drink at all. So I was basically drinking by myself and just reviewing it by myself. But other than that, I think pretty much everybody's drank with me. I think when I get, what's his name? Chad on. Chad doesn't drink. So I'll have to find non-alcoholic. He said he's cool with those.
Yeah, that's a tease.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I might sneak myself the real deal.
Yeah.
Or I might give him some of the real deal too, and he won't.
I don't know about that.
You know Chad?
No, I don't know. I know plenty of guys.
Chad's a wild man. He doesn't drink beer now because he was such a wild man.
That makes sense.
Growing up with him, yeah, or not. I won't say I really grew up with him, but I was It was probably 15 years ago. Yeah, something like that. So I was like 21, give or take.
Yeah.
And right, I'm asking they're fucked up somewhere. But basically, I hung out with him when I was 21, and he was a wild man back then. He'd like drive down the road at night trying to find where he went, and he'd just be walking down the street in like just some shorts, no shoes, no t-shirt, in the dark by Charlie B's. And we're like, dude, what are you doing?
Probably just trying to get Mexican, man.
No, it was before all that existed.
Oh. Yeah, there's no reason to be over there then.
There was nothing over there.
Yeah.
Either way, we got Riley Anderson here. If you guys have watched the show a couple times, or if you've ever gone out to pretty much any bar in town and heard a decent musician, like I'm saying you're great, but like if you heard somebody who's good there, it's probably Riley. Because anybody else, probably not. Okay, I'll take it back. There's
plenty.
I'll take it back. I like Bodine and the Poachers.
Lee Pilcher's pretty good.
Lee Pilcher's great.
I like Lee. Lee's
Thomas
my boy.
Merritt's great.
Thomas is cool. I like Hannah Barnes. I don't even know who that is.
Yeah.
Plays keyboard.
Yeah, I've seen a set at Mello that she did.
Who
She's
else?
the only woman that I've ever seen play Drake on keys.
Yeah. Let's see who else we got.
Have you ever heard Derek Dove that came up there?
Derek does great.
I don't think so.
He also
Good
plays
band,
in
too.
Big Brother's Boombox.
Big Brothers Boombox,
Yeah.
yep.
I probably if he's played up at Mello, I've seen him just because I've been at Mello so long.
Then you
And
got like Page Brothers, Bo Henry Band.
Page Brothers hasn't played at Mello, but I know
Songs.
there's some good ones. There's some good ones.
Yeah.
Chances are, if they're really good, it's probably Riley. Not face. I was like, we got Michael Peak in here. So I've heard you're like a music producer. Is that correct? Or kind of enlighten me, because I've heard very, very little of what I wanted to leave asking him questions beforehand. I know it seems like I wasn't prepared for this, but I like earnest and honest reactions from people, both myself and him. So I try not to ask too many questions beforehand.
Really, I'm just an engineer. I mean, I'm familiar with the engineering program, Pro Tools, and
You're making some beats though, don't you?
I mean, I'm working
You're
on
producing some beats, don't you?
I'm working on making my own music. I've recorded 3 of my own songs the last
Music producer, just like I
three, 4 weeks. But what I do all day is just record other folks. And when there's downtime, I get to do my own music. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. I mean, I get to listen to a lot of different people and the way that they write, like writing styles are different, and like just the messages that they're talking about. Like you can feel the pain, you can feel the pleasure, the happiness that some people have. So it's like it's all of it. And so it's just
Or some of that new stuff that comes out, and you're like, you put no actual thought in this, did you?
there's a lot
put
of
no
there's,
thought in
there's
this.
some of that too. But
You repeated the same word 15 times, back to back.
yeah,
You
but
don't really care about this, do you? You're just trying to make money.
there's some of that too. But the majority of it, people do care. They I don't know. It's just you gotta have a lot of money to not care if you're coming into the studio and recording. But there's still some people that come in there that I'm like, I wish I had that much money.
Yeah.
But it's been awesome so far. So
And that's this
platinum
piece of paper right here,
yeah.
Platinum.
Yeah.
Platinum Sound Recording Studios
We'll
down
put
on
beer can
Broad.
later.
And that's the one that you were at earlier today, right?
Yeah.
Am I not supposed to talk about that?
I mean,
You could tell.
I told you.
You were like, yeah, man. Yeah.
Told me earlier.
No,
I
I
know.
was there. Yeah, I did a little session. I just went and played some instruments.
Ooh, what is up with the connection?
It was definitely not.
It was cool. It's a cool experience.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like, you know, that some guys reached out to him and wanted him to do the guitar part, and that's what we did. And
Yeah.
a lot of people want to do that because I have my guitars in the studio, and people see them and they, you know, want to learn how to play guitar or want it in their tracks. And there's a few times that I've been able to put it on there, but most time we just don't have enough time. But it worked out great today. Riley came up there and put a rhythm track, a lead track, and a bass line on the. Pretty much we made the beat today
Yeah.
based off of another song.
Yeah.
That connection is atrocious. I always get great connection
did
here.
it.
I don't understand. I always get great connection
Oh,
here. If
that's
you guys are seeing it really laggy right now, I'm totally confused at why. Because we always get great connection here.
It's up and down for sure.
It's not a nice visual, but we could try one in my garage one day. I'm about to have that kegerator thing put in there. It came in. The tank and all the lines and the handle.
You talking about doing it through the outside?
In my fridge, yeah, and I just drill a 7/8 inch hole in my fridge door.
So you can just tap it right out the fridge.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll just put the keg. I'm just gonna do like a pony keg.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and see what United has
Sean?
of Pretorius stuff. What they have on hand.
Probably none of this.
Yeah, I know.
Sean said, that man Riley Edmondson.
What's up, Sean?
How nice is he?
Sean's a great.
Three
guy.
nice.
3 nice.
He's more than 2 nice.
Out of what?
He's 3 nice.
Out
No,
of
because
how
there's
many?
people who are 2 nice, and then he's 3 nice.
I don't know. He's super nice. He's a good dude.
That's 3 nice.
Sean's my dude. I seen him not too long ago.
I think I saw him at the gym last night.
Uh-oh.
getting his swell on. I told him where was Leah at, and I was like, "Where's Leah at?" He's like, "Oh, she's visiting her family," but he's trying to get her to come in there because he's into working out, and he gets a lot of pleasure from it, and there's like chemical releases whenever you work out, and it's a stress reliever, and like it's good for all this kind of stuff. And he's trying to like share that with her because he's so passionate, and yeah, she's not about it.
Yeah, he be putting them reps in for real. He be pushing that weight.
Yeah.
The
Jay
last
Lawrence.
place Sean finna see my big ass.
Jay
is in the
Lawrence, a
gym.
bunch of rad dudes.
What's up, Jay?
He's a pretty rad dude himself.
Y'all want to tear into a beer?
What Jay's what? Jay is he lead guitar for 95? Am I saying that right?
Yep.
95?
Jay is lead guitar for 95.
What 95? Is it just called
The
95?
band is called 95.
Just straight. I'm trying to think if I've seen them.
You probably have.
Yeah. I know him.
Yeah,
Real tall?
yeah,
Yeah, I know you're small.
yeah. Cool dude.
He
I
is very
can play
cool.
guitar really well.
Yep.
And has some very nice guitars. Also,
Yeah.
by the way,
Yeah.
that I'd also might like to see in person.
He does got some nice
All
stuff.
He does.
We're gonna jump into this Illuminated Brews Works from I guess that's the brewery. Illuminated Brews Works, Brew Works. It's from Chicago, Illinois. Junior Astronaut Juice. It's a double dry hopped IPA. Guys, let us know if this is really laggy to you, because I'm looking down here and my speeds are abysmal, which is weird because I usually have 2 to 3 times this, and I don't want to disconnect and reconnect again. It's kind of a big can, so I should have room for everybody.
Yeah.
Double dry hopped IPA. Did you say it was a hazy?
I think it's
Just a regular IPA? Yeah, the speeds are so up and down.
We're supposed to
It's
hang on to
964.
some in the can, or
It's 2K,
you want some more?
Finish it.
944.
You don't want any more? You want any more?
You run it. Go for it. I'll put the can over here.
All
on
right.
I'll let the guys see the can. The can's super cool. IWB, Illuminated Brew Works.
Yeah, that artwork's cool on that can.
I'll give you guys a gander.
Mm.
Yeah. Thinking about buying a rotating. Oh, you already drank it?
I mean, I tried
We're
it.
supposed to be cheers, man.
What?
We're supposed to be cheers, man.
Look, man, if there's rules to all this, you got to send
You
that
already
out
know.
before
Remember,
we
'cause
get here.
I got my thing right there.
What?
Cheers. See it
Is
pop
it
up. on
bad
the
luck
screen?
if I tried some first?
No.
Well, it's
Ooh, it's got a smell to it.
Yep. A little danky.
yeah, but it's like kind of mellow. It's almost like I get like pineapple juice off of that.
I'm trying to figure out what
There's definitely some
flavor I'm
citrus
getting
to
out
it.
of
Yeah,
it.
it's something.
I can see the pineapple juice.
Like or one of them
Speaks right now.
where it's all them crazy fruits.
Concentrated
I don't know. It's good.
melody.
I don't know nobody named Melody.
I know a Melanie.
I know Melanie. Melody's kind of a unique name.
Maybe I need to turn this up. I wonder if everybody can hear us okay. Crank that up a bit.
Yeah, especially this one.
Oh, he's right on it though.
Yeah, but he's quiet.
It'll be all right. We'll work it out. See, just me over here. I'm getting pretty good.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Yeah, it's not crazy good.
I mean, yeah, like I said, it's still kind of just mellow.
It's got something funky about it, and I can't place it. I don't know if it's the type of hops that are in it. Let's see if it tells us. Let's see. You've told us how important astronaut juice is to the space program. So we built a lower gravity version with the same Okay, so it's Mosaic, Mandarina, Bavaria, Amarillo, and Pacifico.
That's what it is, that Mandarino or whatever it is. That's what we're getting.
Okay, maybe it's just this double dry hop. Maybe
Yeah.
that's what's giving it
I
that.
think that's it is dry.
A little funk on it.
It's like there's
It's got a little thump.
there's an aftertaste, but not.
Yeah.
Let's get into this weird habanero apricot wheat.
Yeah.
It says brewed and canned in Alabama. Huck Finn's. This is actually one of Brent Selects. We've got a viewer and a fan of Pretoria, and he just brings us beer every once in a while. Super cool guy. It says brewed and canned in Alabama. It says Mark Twain on it. Huck Finn's habanero apricot wheat. It says part of the secret of success in life is to eat what you like and let the food fight it out inside.
I don't know. I
Smart
like
man.
hot peppers, but I've never had no hot peppers in beer.
Oh, I definitely have.
Habanero wheat.
Mm-hmm. It works pretty well in a sour. There should be enough in there for you guys. Ooh, that's a smell.
You gotta check it before you even pour it out.
That's a peppery smell.
No, don't. I mean,
I'll take it.
okay.
I don't mind.
We'll give you the rest of that
Whoa.
other one. Whoa,
Yeah.
that's never a good sign.
I'm about to just run it. Brandon can run it. Literally every other beer on the table, I'll do that. Habanero.
All right. Have you tried it yet?
Yeah, cheers
No,
this
we're
one
doing
too.
cheers, ain't we?
We'll prime it up.
How many? Yeah. Say how many of these do we do every time?
You might like it, you might not.
It's not bad.
It's weird.
It's not bad at first.
The pepper's in there though.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah, it
it's
is.
there. Man, this shit's in the back of my throat.
Is that why you took this tiniest little bit of it?
Yeah. I like hot stuff, but
Yeah, the pepper it goes straight to the back
y'all
of the
quit
throat.
putting hot peppers in beers. Shit.
That's the
I had
first
one
I've
called
ever
El
heard of it.
Chupacabra that was a sour with, it was some kind of pepper in it. And it was, so it was real sour, and then all of a sudden at the very end, you get that pepper in the back of your throat. It was weird, but it worked.
It's like instant heartburn.
Brewed and packed from Mark Twain Brewing Company. Straight out, by Straight to L brands.
Oh, it's not bad as long as you can put up with
Huntsville.
that shit that happens back there.
Put that-
Huntsville, Alabama.
Out the frame. Yeah, that ain't bad. That's interesting.
Let you guys catch a gander of that. It's very peppery on the nose.
Yeah,
It just sits right. It's sitting right at the back.
I don't know how you got that much gone already.
Be a little spicy.
He only got a little bit. He
I only
literally
put
poured
like
the
this
tiniest
much in there.
amount.
I feel
Was
bad
that Mama
though, 'cause
Sharon?
Put enough just to try
the
it.
first beer, we definitely.
Do you think I should bring back the fireball for every time Miss Mama Sharon pops in the show?
No. I mean, you can.
Yeah, you can.
You don't want
How
to
do
feel. You don't want to
decide who
feel.
does it?
You don't want to feel.
No, Mama Sharon knows if she even sees me in public, I won't drink no Fireball. Because she knows I'll throw up.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Because by the time I've seen her, I've already drank like a 12-pack of beer. And we're not talking like no, craft beer. I've been pounding some Diet Millers or some Busch Lattes or
Yikes.
some Natties. You know what I mean? I'd just be in a whole nother mode. And by the time I see her, she's like, "You ready for a shot?" And I mean, no.
No,
I
ma'am.
am, but my stomach isn't.
No, ma'am.
That's spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little spicy.
That's spicy. What's in it?
Habanero.
No, what's floating in it?
Probably peppers.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. Wow, I dig that shit. I love when
Well, like that 53 footer from here, it's got stuff in it.
oh,
but
in the
that-
bottles, yeah.
Yeah, that ain't.
You want that though.
That shit's good.
That last little sip is the good stuff.
That shit is great.
I'll drink it for you, she said.
Did you wax dip those bottles?
Yeah.
I know
I
you
did
will.
4 of
You
them.
did last time.
I did 4 of them.
You did?
Yeah. I did one on my own, and it's kind of weird. So I got to buy some last finishing touches.
Okay.
I want to do.
Did that wax thing work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it worked. It took it a while to heat up, but it was good. And I poured everything into a. Probably should have just left it in the thing, let it cool, and then heat it up back in there. I poured it all into a mason jar, all the extra wax.
I have no more of that in here.
You ain't feeling it?
Got sediment? That shit. That shit hot.
It's gonna be in there too.
You can always change glasses if you want.
No, I'll be alright.
You survive.
Yeah. Just do it up. Just
Yeah, so I wax dipped 4 of them and then poured the extra wax into a mason jar and figured I can supposedly you can just nuke it. You can just put it in the
Yeah,
microwave.
just redo it. Yeah, well, whenever you get them done, let me know. I'll get a few of them.
Let's get that last little bit of
That'd be cool.
yum yum on the bottom.
That is a good beer, though. I like it.
Here, pour this one right over there.
No, man, drink that shit.
No. Yeah, no, here.
Where's another?
No.
Man,
It's all right. You'll be all right.
I'll be all right.
You're
I
tough.
won't- I
You're
won't
tough.
bring-
That's what I did. That last little bit of pepper is what got me on the back of my throat.
Yeah, it's good.
That shit's hot.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Yeah, it just sits there.
Good job on that one, Brent. That is one you only want to drink one of.
Yeah, that.
In our case, a third of.
Thank God he drank the other 5.
I think he was a pretty big fan of it.
Really?
I'm feeling it all the way down here.
Yeah.
It's like a shot of golden grain. So you want to have something kind of pleasant after that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bust one open.
This is one of my favorite.
This is one you was
beers
in.
right
Yeah.
here.
This
Oh, I
one.
like this beer. Yeah, this is the last of my 6-pack of it.
No, I haven't tried this one, but the
The brewery in itself.
Berliner Weiss.
Oh no,
How
that
is it?
this beer right here is amazing.
Where is this from now?
I think it's Nashville, but I don't remember.
Homes by Midnight.
How do you say it? Berliner
Berliner Weiss.
Berliner Weiss.
Cleveland, Georgia.
I don't remember where I got it from.
Do y'all want any more of this?
I mean, it depends. Like, just top yours up to where ours is, and then we'll.
Where are we at here?
This is a good one that each of us actually wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to say the last ones weren't good. It's just
We're drinking this.
I'm a big sour fan. I'm a big stout fan, amber fan, and then everything else falls in line behind that.
Hazies.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow. Yep.
Oh, why don't you go ahead and just
Yeah,
dive right
that
into
was-
it, man?
yeah.
Jeez, man.
I will. I'll just. Yeah. This is great.
Yep.
Yep.
Lovely.
Takes care of that habanero.
There's
Yeah.
that Kool-Aid.
That's good.
So there was a sour that I had at Colin's house, and it was like it had a bee on it, almost like Pretoria's bee.
Yeah.
Very similar, but had actual wings instead of these wheat wings that we have on ours.
Yeah.
And the label, it looked like something we had made. And it was like a habanero or something like that sour, but it was good. It was really good. You can only have one. We shared a bottle of it. You just
That's
don't want to
cool.
have the one of it, but ooh, just because that spice would catch up to you, man.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'm gonna be all in that spice. Me and Alicia are going to Columbus tomorrow. We'll hit up an Indian restaurant,
That's gonna be cool.
and I'm telling them like, because they always gonna ask you,
Indian
do you want
food
it
be
spicy? And I'll be like, yes, as spicy as you can get it. And they're like, are you sure? And you're like, just don't try me. Make that shit spicy.
Well, you've talked about that before, though. Like I mean, you got like a thing for Indian food.
Yeah, I do. I do like me some Indian food. I'm not much for Indian scammers, but I like their food.
Yeah. Don't call me about my car warranty. But whoop up
Yeah.
that curry chicken, man.
Yeah, what's up with that tiki masala?
My
Oh.
favorite is dal and rice and egg curry. Like boiled eggs, and then they fry the egg and then curry it. It's just like, oh, it's fucking delicious.
They I've been watching on YouTube these fucking guys who are taking out these scammers.
Yeah.
Because they'll use like the scammers want to use like remote access, and they'll get like sensitive information, or like they want to control them to be
Like in
able
your
to
computer and shit.
go in there and do stuff with the bank account, and like,
Yeah.
oh, we sent you too much money, now you have to send us some back. Like we sent you $500 too much, or $600 too much, but just make us a $500 gift card and you can keep the extra 100 or something like that. What's up, Antonio?
Just some straight up bullshit.
Yeah, and people fall for it. So I've been watching these guys who basically listen in on them, and then they'll do things to disconnect their account or disconnect the call. They'll call the person, tell them that it's a hacker or like a scammer trying to steal money from them, or they'll go and I saw one guy shut down like 18 computers, or that set up a thing that whenever you called it up, so if you called back, you got a phone call from them and you called them back, instead of getting like an operator, you would get like, this is a scamming line.
Yeah.
Like, just
That's cool.
fucking taking care of these assholes who are just stealing money from old people. Because really the only people who are falling for it is old people.
Yeah.
A young person's gonna hear it and be like, fuck off, dude.
Well, that's like I got hit up today for what is it? Them Cash App flips. That's a new thing, man. Where like apparently you'll put in $50 and you'll make 500. And they can say whatever they want, but I mean, if they're just some dude out there handing away money, at Riley Anderson Music, Instagram, Facebook, hit me up. I'll shoot you my Venmo or Cash App.
Wesley Edmonds, if you had to choose beer, Miller, Coors, Busch, etc., to drink for the rest of your life, what would you choose? Does it have to be shitty light beer?
Does it just have to be like that? One of them basic, one of like the big six?
If
or
it's
whatever?
shitty light beer, I'll have I love a Coke. No, I won't have a Coke. I'm playing. That was my fucking Boondock Saints joke.
I'll go Miller Lite.
I'll have a Coke.
I will. Rest of my life, I'll go Miller Lite.
I actually don't like any of those, so I'll just
If
drink
that's all you
water.
could have.
What about Yingling Light?
I'll be a Yingling. Yeah,
Yingling or Yingling
They got
Light.
Yingling Light.
I can't
Or
do
just
Yingling Light.
You can't?
Yingling's good.
You're taking away all the flavor. You're just
Yeah.
taking a beer and pouring water
But
in
if you
it.
just had to have one of them light ones, if
Yeah,
that's
but
all you're allowed to have for the rest of your life,
I just won't drink beer.
Miller Lite, man.
I guess I'm just a liquor guy now. Basic as fuck. You're right. I am not drinking that shit. Like, the only time I drink that is if I go to somebody's house. Like, we went to Shelby's house for, like, Friendsgiving, and there was light beer there. And Sean was actually the one that offered it. It was just sitting there next to the fridge, like boxes and boxes of beer. And I was like, who's? And they're like, dude, just grab it. So I grabbed it, and I was like, hey, who brought the Coors Lights? Sean's like, oh, that's mine. And I was like, oh, shit, dude, I'm drinking your beer. I was like, no, it's cool. That's why I put it there. So I drink Coors, but I wasn't a fan of it. I mean, it got the job done. My options were Coors Light or like seltzers. So seltzers are okay. Like if you're doing like a keto diet, you're trying to watch your carbs and sugar and stuff,
Still trying to get trashed.
and still trying to get trashed, seltzers are the way to go, honestly.
They got some pretty good flavors too.
They do.
Seltzers,
They do.
Hey, the seltzers here aren't bad.
Yeah. Right now, I think all we have is lemon lime and lemon orange and lime, which I think that's a bit redundant. I think they should have gotten rid of the lemon lime when they did lemon orange and lime and added like strawberry or, you know, mango pineapple or something like that. But it's not my choice on these kind of things. Hopefully they'll label up some more bottles, because right now, if you've noticed, there's no bottles out.
Yeah.
They're not out of them. We have probably 60, 70 more bottles, but we don't have the labels for them. So as soon as they get the labels, we're going to...
Is it still going to be the semi truck?
Yeah. It's the same. It's just a little bit bigger. So I think I'm going to keep... Of the 4 I've labeled, or the 4 I've sealed, I'll probably keep 1 non-sealed, 1... Or, sorry, Of the sealed ones, I'll keep one labeled and one non-labeled, and the other two are up for grabs.
Yep.
I'm gonna one of them I just got really funny with the wax. Like after I dipped it, I took the thing and just like did like a lattice on it and was spinning it and doing weird shit. Took the stamp and stamped it right on top with the bee.
Yeah.
Just
That's pretty cool.
Just like silly shit. Just it's by bottle and it'll sit somewhere for a year or two.
Yeah, and get super sour.
Super sour.
It's gonna be good.
Hopefully with the seal on there, it'll never bust.
Yeah, it'll be really good.
Either way, what do you guys think about this beer?
Oh,
This is Poems at Midnight. It's raspberry and blackberry, and it's from Tantrum Brewing Company in Cleveland, Georgia. Tart, fruity, refreshing. It's a Berliner Weiss ale with raspberry and blackberry. So I'll show you guys that.
I hadn't had it before, but I like this. Made in Georgia. It tastes good. It's one of my favorite kinds of beer. And I like the blackberry raspberry combo.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we tore it down. I'm trying to just tear it all up real quick. Kind of sad I don't have some more sours in there. You want to go into?
Me too.
You want to go into this one?
I mean, yeah, you want to go deep? We can go deep. I got an opener.
Ooh. So
I mean,
I had to be honest. So sometimes I didn't look at what it was, and I'll still drink it. A lot of times when they go into these like whiskey or bourbon barrel
casks
stouts,
and barrels and stuff.
yeah, it's so overly boozy that it just tastes like I'm drinking liquor. And I
Yeah.
want a stout with notes of liquor.
Right.
I want a stout that I'm like, there's whiskey on the back. I don't want it to be like,
Yeah, it's,
I'm drinking straight whiskey right now.
But
But
it
at
just look
it's
interesting.
10.25.
but at 8 or 10%, yeah, it's gonna be boozy as shit. This looks like it's something straight out of fucking Monster Hunter. I don't know if you guys have ever played it.
No.
That looks like a Kirin mixed with a Lunaustra.
It was like a fucked up dinosaur to me.
It's pretty much Monster Hunter.
Like a fucked up unicorn. A unicorn dinosaur.
We're gonna do it.
All right, that's basically a Kirin.
Demonic Kieran. That's what
It's basically like it's classified technically as an elder dragon,
Yeah,
but
this
it's
is,
not. And you hunt these and you cut pieces off of their carcass and make weapons out of it. So it's basically a mixture of that mixed with
Yeah, it just looked interesting when I was, like I said, when I was in there. And it was like this, or it was one that was like just done in a bourbon barrel, or just done in an Irish whiskey barrel. So I just got the best of both worlds.
mixed with this one right
I've
here.
never had it though.
So you got the big wings, the big blue, the big motif of blue. She's got blue flames. It's kind of her
the
thing.
horns on the ends of the.
You know who's
Wings.
got crazy labels? Three Floyds out of Indiana. Is it Indiana? Yeah, Three Floyds Brewing. It's like
Virus and threat protection, Windows Defender summary.
they got their beers got crazy names like Arctic Panzer Wolf and shit. There was one they did called Zombie Dust, but the
I'll
dude
drink
that
it.
does the art for him also does art for like heavy metal bands. There's some cool stuff.
I'll drink it. This is Clown Shoes, right?
Yeah.
And this is out of where? I've had plenty of Clown Shoes beer.
Are they from Michigan? I don't know. Is it Michigan or no? Boston, Mass, and Windsor, Vermont.
It's a collaboration brewery.
Yeah, I guess that wasn't on my keychain. So.
You said that wasn't on your keychain?
No.
I mean, I got it on my keychain too.
What, that bottle opener?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got mine.
Oh, that baby dark.
So I'm saying this was gonna be boozy.
This is gonna be exciting.
I don't like mine too boozy. I
don't either.
I love a nice smooth stout.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was getting into. It just looked interesting, but I mean, I like stouts like that are here,
It's like
like the English milk stout, that room temperature one that was here.
What is that? trying to think of what it smells like.
It was only there that
Oh,
one
yeah,
day.
yeah.
I'm so
I
glad I
dug
was
it.
able to get one glass and experience it, because the next day we came back, it was gone.
One full pint. This is 10.25 ABV. This says an imperial style aged in Irish whiskey and bourbon barrels. Cool label. Like I said, if you play Monster Hunter, it looks like a Kirin mixed with a Lunastra. Even the background looks like an area I would be killing this monster in. It says the beast is back, and it's not too pleased with this new companion, the Banshee. She's led them to the mysterious Irish wilderness, and now they're becoming translucent, creepy, but in a most peculiar fashion, magnificent. This weird way of writing. This imperial stout is a powerful pairing in its own right, with robust dark malt flavors and rich and complex notes of Irish whiskey and bourbon barrels. Okay, you say notes, motherfucker. There better be notes in here. That's what I'm saying. There better be notes. I want them on the back. Just like I have to look to find out what kind of beer this is, that's how far back I want your whiskey and bourbon to be.
Don't smell it.
It's going to smell, yeah, it smells boozy as fuck. Come on, Clown Shoes, get right. I know there's people out
Normally,
there.
Clown Shoes is pretty
There's
good.
people out here who like this, who seek this out. I am not one of these. I like a good stout, and I
Good
love
crisp,
stouts.
light body.
I want smoothness, and
Yeah.
I want any of my notes to be on the back. So if you're a peanut butter stout, I want to taste it and then be like, or even when I smell it, okay, I can smell peanut butter, and then when I taste it and be like, there's a peanut butter.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be overwhelmingly peanut butter and too sweet. That was kind of one of the issues I had with the s'more stout. It's too sweet for me.
Yeah.
It's way too sweet.
Wasn't bad though.
Banshee and the Beast. All right. I'll put this up so you guys can see it. Pop that up. Everything's in reverse. It's hard to see what that is, but I feel like when people are looking at this on a bigger screen, they probably can see it fairly well. Yeah. So it'll be all right. You ready to fuck it up? In whatever
Ready to
facet
fuck
of the
me
word.
up. I don't know what's
See.
going
It smells like soy sauce.
Yeah, you're making faces right
No,
now.
I mean,
It's not bad.
no.
No, I've definitely had some way
Yeah, I'll
worse.
say it's not like super booze,
No, so I've had some from
but it's boozy.
so from Ology, that Sky Barnes, shout out to Sky Barnes, that he, sometimes he'll think, well, something new will come out, and he follows these different beer groups. And he's like, hey, Brandon, do you want this beer? And I'm like, yeah, just grab it. I'll pay you for it. And some of them are so boozy.
bad.
They're like motor oil. No, this one's good. So the smell is overly boozy. The taste, it's not super boozy. It's good. Usually you can tell when I try something and it's like, I don't like it, or if it's too much for me, I'm just like, I just kind of do this like,
Tough through it.
I don't
Yeah.
like it. I do
It's like
not like it.
what's
you
got
do not like it?
No.
This is like mild on the boozy scale.
It's not bad. I don't know. I never had it before. It's just some fancy bottle that I picked up.
Columbus, there's a place called Multitude and a place called Nonick, and you can get some pretty funky stuff there.
Columbus, Georgia?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. How often do you go to Tallahassee?
I don't.
Never? Okay. I was about to say, there's a bunch of places that have really funky stuff.
Yeah.
Let me scroll through.
Well, it's like between Panama City and Santa Rosa and all that, whenever I'm down there, they tend to have some pretty good stuff. Like, well, just that one brewery alone that I went to, that Idle Hounds,
Yeah.
they got...
I don't mean
oh,
breweries, I mean packaging stores that just have,
Yeah, just happen to have
like,
all
they
sorts
just
of-
have funky bottles just fucking
Yeah, so that
everywhere. And
one
this is
in-
all beer. This is all like, and I
Where
showed
that one came from, they got an entire wall of coolers, like as long as this wall, and it's all sectioned out. IPA, sour,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
This
Where'd
is
you
just.
get those at?
Panama City Beach.
Oh, I went to that one.
I can't remember the name.
Yeah,
of
I went to
Kelly's
that one.
Liquors or something like that.
That was
It's next door to Publix.
there's, Tony Singletary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a house. So he went off and had to do some trip. Like we were staying there at his house, and he was like, "Hey, I gotta go to Atlanta. I gotta leave tonight." Whatever. He leaves, and he's supposed to come back to be on my show. It's on a Sunday, and he's supposed to be back early Monday to be on my show. He doesn't really show up, so I'm on the show by myself. But before that, I have to figure out about beer. I have no beer. It's me and Tony were supposed to go, so I have to basically hire an Uber, which is a super cool guy. He's Mongolian, so he speaks Russian. He speaks the Mongolian language. He's also a photographer, and he's an Uber driver. And we just buddied up. We talked about, like, as he calls him, Chinggis Khan, and like how he gets like a bad rap, and how we view him as being like this nasty barbarian, but over there he's like a savior, and they have massive statues of him, and he's loved, and he united all the kingdoms that were all in chaos before he got there. Either way, I went to that place, and there was a pretty good selection.
They got
of
a
beer.
really good. I mean, that whole back part is like 2 walls worth of beer.
Yeah,
One of them's cool, and the other one's just open.
I like me some good Dankers.
Well, that's where the ones I brought. That's where they came from.
I'm pretty sure one of the ones I had, I got some of this. I don't think I got this one per se, but from that brewery, because all theirs have skulls on them like that.
They
I
got some good stuff.
That in Multitude, I think, in Columbus.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good stuff. And they got Fauna Flora there too, which is really good beer.
That's what you're saying.
They do a lot of like wild cultured sours. So if you like sours, if you like the 53 Fooder, they do a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be
really funky shit.
You didn't try it.
Taco, what's up, man? Taco 83. Sorry if I just saw your message. We drinking some Dankers, Taco. We hanging out. We're drinking something from Clown Shoes right now. It's a Imperial Stout aged in Irish whiskey and bourbon barrels. It's a bit much, but it's not super overwhelming as far as the boozy. I know she hasn't been drinking much of it.
I'm working on it.
Okay. Because we still got
I'm working on it.
4 more beers. We got 5 more beers to go.
Yeah, I know.
2 of them are Oktoberfest.
I see them over there.
Yeah, those should be a little on the lighter side.
But that'll be interesting to try, the 2 different takes.
Hopefully they'll taste okay. Because, October.
Judging
we're
by
in
where
December
they're from,
now,
I think
the ass
we're
end of
okay.
December.
Judging by where they're coming out of, I think we're okay.
I hate that I couldn't get the Christmas beer, the Anchor. Anchor makes the Christmas beer every year.
Yeah.
And it's always different every year. So I hate that I missed it this year.
Don't they make the Saint the Bismarck, whatever it is?
No, St. Bernardus, no.
No. Is that what it is?
Mm-mm. St. Bernardus is
Saint the
name.
Bismarck is something else. It's like the highest alcohol content in a beer. It's called Saint the Bismarck. I can't remember who makes it.
I know St. Bernardus, which is like a Belgian style and or a Trappist style maybe, and it's used to be like the number 3 beer in the world. Miller has it in the bottle for $15 a bottle.
Oh yeah.
It's expensive.
Yeah, there's one down at the beach. I can't remember what it is.
Irish whiskey do be good.
But it's like a 6-ounce draw or something like that for like $40. Damn. This is one craft bar we went to.
They've got some pretty good craft selections in Columbus, though, if you haven't been there in a while.
Yeah.
They've got Cannon Brew Pub has a pretty good bit. Like I say, Multitude's got a lot. There's No Nick. There's Barfly. Or is it Jarfly? It's one of the two. It used to be like a Locos, and then they remodeled it. They've got some solid ass beer. Either way, I'm gonna pound down this because I want to go ahead and get into some of these.
Yeah.
Do you want to run 2 Oktoberfest next? So a good beer. It doesn't need to be
Cold.
It doesn't need to be super cold. Basically, the colder a beer is, the less your taste buds taste it. So when you drink like a light beer and like a Coors Light, they demand it to be super cold so they can see
cold
the
as the mountains,
Yeah.
Yeah, so it
It's because the beer isn't really all that flavorful, or it's basically they like it not super flavorful. The colder it is, the less your palate grabs the flavors, and the warmer it is, you get more of the actual beer flavor.
Well, we pounded ours.
Oh shit! Call me out, why don't you?
There's more beer in that bottle too.
Oh yeah.
You can stay there.
I mean, I'll drink it. I don't care.
All right. This is
Grab the
Devil's
car key
Backbone,
first.
huh?
Grab the car key first.
Yeah. I know, right?
Devil's backbone.
Devil's Backbone. So they made a really good Vienna lager that a lot of people felt like was a kind of like a Yingling. They felt like it was like a premium Yingling.
Yeah.
It looks like
And this
super
is their
clear.
O-Fest, Oktoberfest. Smooth malty caramel notes, and Devil's Backbone is from Lexington, Virginia.
Smooth, malty, and caramel notes. Yeah, I hope to taste some of those.
There's actually very few Oktober. Pass some on this way. Yeah, come on and get them.
Is that enough?
So if you wanted to see what that beer was, just in case you're curious, their taco. So I don't know if you can see it well enough.
I hope to taste some of
It
those
contains
caramel
wheat.
notes.
Look out.
Yeah.
Man, they put the
smells
phone
all
number
right.
on the bottle.
Smells alright.
Yeah, it smells good. Smells like we're next door to the beer garden.
I love the label. Yeah, no, I was telling them
Maybe some
I'm a big
pretzels.
Monster Hunter fan, so I was telling them it was like a Kieran and a Lou Naustra. I definitely get Monster Hunter vibes from that. And if they try to tell me it wasn't, I'll fight all of them. I'll fight every brewer in there and
In
call
real
them.
life or on Monster Hunter?
Well, you don't fight each other on Monster Hunter. You fight monsters. But
Oh.
in real life, I'll fight all of them.
Would you fight that monster on Monster Hunter?
No, hell no. Because they've got blue flames.
Yeah, that fucking dragon's all boozed up, man.
Yeah, he's got blue flames.
Just sitting
I
in
mean,
the
if I can barely handle his
He look like he's
booze,
ready.
if I can barely handle his booze, I don't know how I can handle anything
Yeah.
else. Y'all ready for that?
Yeah, we ain't tried any yet. So we don't get in trouble.
All I'm getting is the one from before. I'm gonna switch it around, try to get some of that out of there.
Yeah, you go from what we just had to that. It's
It's not bad at all.
it's hard to pick stuff out.
Yeah, I did a little swisheroo.
You can taste that wheat though.
Yeah.
It's good. That's one of the ones you
Smooth.
drink with the can handle, with the handle can,
So we said it was what,
Stein.
Lexington,
Oh, yeah.
Virginia?
the little flippy lid.
Yeah, Lexington, Virginia. This is O-Fest. This is Devil's Backbone. It's their version of a Oktoberfest.
Yeah, not bad at all. It's very, it's good.
Definitely smooth. I don't taste the caramel as much as I wanted to though.
Well, yeah.
And it's got a dude with an accordion on
Good,
it.
thanks. I'll drink more of that. Don't worry.
That's all you do.
I'll get rid of it.
That's all you.
It's not bad.
Catch a gander at that. I don't know if you can see it okay. There's so much fucking glare. I feel like I'm gonna like this one better. I don't know why. Yellowhammer Brewing in Huntsville, Alabama. So for my Oktoberfest, this is a little light for me. Most of my Oktoberfest, I'm used to them being a little on the darker side.
Yeah.
Even though whenever you see videos of like the Oktoberfest in Germany, in Munich, you see the like basically this color beer.
You been to Germany yet?
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't there for Oktoberfest though. It's a little too basic for me.
Yeah. Did you get Lederhosen?
No, I didn't do any of that.
No.
I was there September, maybe early October.
When's all that big shit normally kick off?
Pretty much all of October.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, I was in,
I mean, hence the name, but
I don't know when exactly Oktoberfest is, but I think I was in Italy or Croatia by the time.
yeah.
But by that time, yeah, I was making out with a Russian girl in Italy by then.
All right, Diplo.
Might as well, you know.
How many countries have you been to?
So
have you ever
who's
sat down
our
and counted?
guest? Who's our guest? So we've got Riley Anderson over here.
Piece of shit.
He's been on the show before. He's a musician. Jam up, tear it up. He's got amazing pipes. He's also a super cool dude as well. Canadian, works with it's Canadian fair?
Not anymore. I'm a citizen. I'm a domesticated import.
Yeah.
I got my papers in 13, baby.
He's
Okay, all right. I didn't know how official you were, but
what is
all right.
it?
I'm legal now.
Tom Horton. What's the name of the
Tim Hortons?
Tim Hortons? Yeah,
Yeah.
he's basically a Tim Horton. And we got Michael Peak here. Works with Platinum
Platinum Sound Recording
Platinum
Studio.
Sound Recording Studio. They be making some awesome music, working with some great artists, and yeah. Sorry, I'm not. I could convey this a little bit better earlier, but now that I've got a couple Dankers in, a little less so.
523 West Broad Avenue, Albany, Georgia. Hit them up. Boogie some studio time.
So I don't know where Taco's at to where they could even do that. Honestly,
To book it?
yeah. I'm thinking Taco might be Taco 83. They might not even be in this country.
I don't know. If he wants to record some music, if you want to get here, I'll pay for your studio time.
You done fucked up.
If they can get here, if they're in Europe, borders are closed. You're not
Right
getting
now,
here.
yeah. Canada, too.
Pittsburgh.
We'll come to Albany and I'll pay
I do
for
like me some
studio
Pittsburgh.
time.
That's
I'll give him like an hour. I can get you an hour with my boy.
that's like Yingling country, right? A lot of Yingling out there in Pittsburgh.
Sound like an Asian spot. Remember the truck stop spots?
I know. I keep forgetting. I'm sorry.
Have you ever sat down and counted how many countries you've been to?
I'm 20 something.
Yeah.
I'm
something.
at like early 20s, so maybe 22,
Damn.
23. That's not a lot.
Well,
I mean,
well,
they're
no.
like 200 and something.
Yeah, but you've done a lot of like domestic travel and stuff too.
Not really. I did. I drove through a lot of states, and I didn't really spend a lot of time in them. So I did a drive from. We've done one from Albany to. What was it? Vermont. I've done one from Albany to California, and I've done one from California to Canada. To like Vancouver, and then I took a ferry to
Vancouver
Victoria.
Island. Yeah. Are you from Albany?
Yeah.
Okay.
Albany's just super cheap to live here.
Yeah.
Super cheap. So you can, you can prioritize things, or if you are good at prioritizing, you can get almost anything you want out of life from just living in Albany.
You really can.
So I'm looking at moving to Nashville in 6 to 8 months. The price that I'll spend on a house there that I'm looking on, $200,000 to $250,000. It'll probably be a 3-bedroom house. For $250,000, I can buy a massive house in Albany.
Yeah.
I could buy a massive house in Albany
About like a good 3,000 square feet,
with
4 or 5 bedrooms,
A hell of a
multiple
yard.
acres.
probably 3 bathrooms.
Yeah. I mean, I think the house that I'm in currently, which is 5 bedrooms, not a big yard, but it's 5 bedrooms, and I think that is only
You probably have a kitchen in it.
that's a $90,000 house, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a lot. This house in Nashville would be a $400,000 house,
Yeah.
And it might
$500,000
not even
house.
have a kitchen in it.
I'm actually in the process of moving also. Where are you moving to? You going to Philly?
Well, yeah. So how much longer you got until you go up there?
I'm thinking 6 to
with,
8 months. So this month, the end of December, is where I will go back to doing month to month. And the last time I did month to month, it was only an extra $5 a month. Now they're trying to charge us $50,
Yeah. On rent?
extra $50 a month
Yeah.
to do month to
for not
month.
signing a lease.
Yeah. So if Zach wants to sign a lease to save himself $50 a month, he's more than welcome. Indiana. What the hell's in Indiana other than Jones? Nothing?
Indianapolis.
Indiana's the name of the dog. No? No Indiana Jones fans?
I never got into it.
we named the dog Indiana.
I never got into it. Tell me,
Indiana
what's with that
Jones.
Harrison Ford?
Yeah, dude, I love history. I love travel. So, I mean, you got a guy who travels all over the world digging up ancient relics, who speaks multiple languages, who's good with women, and a fighter, and kicks Nazis' asses. Like, it was a win-win for me. Like, he's a history professor by day, and then at night, or when he's not doing that, or his off time, he's out digging up relics and fighting Nazis. Whether anybody admits it or not, he's the thing that every archaeologist wants to be.
Yeah.
Yep. So all 6 of them, that's who they want to be.
No, there's a lot.
There's
Alicia's
a
an
bunch.
archaeologist. I don't know if you ever
Somebody
met her.
throwing a cheese cover?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, she's an archaeologist. She travels a lot too.
I ain't got a good brain for stuff like that.
If you're interested in it, you can't help but remember.
Yeah.
So if you're like, you see something and you're like, oh shit, that's Sumerian cuneiform. Oh, that's awesome. Or
Yeah, I
that's
don't know any of
that's
that means.
Egyptian hieroglyphics, or that's Babylonian cuneiform. Like, if you get into it, you will just soak it up like a sponge. Anything
Yeah.
anything that you're actually interested in, you just soak it up like a sponge.
Yeah.
And other people might
Through
have
my mouth
difficulty.
with this glass.
Yeah. Other people will have difficulty retaining the things that you retain easily because
Maybe.
you're super interested in it.
Yeah.
So recently for me, it's been photography. So like, as I like travel, but I can't do it right now. And I've always liked photography, but I only did it on a very social media kind of aspect. Like, I
Yeah.
took a phone out, and when I was in like Italy or something, and if something was pretty, I took a picture of it. I understood I understood the rule of threes and things like that, but I didn't know shit. I didn't have a good camera. I still don't have a good camera. I mean, I probably own 10 or 11 cameras now, and I can't imagine any of them are actually good.
Pictures. It doesn't matter what you're using.
Yeah, I think
you
if
got
you,
an eye for it.
I think if you're a
Real.
good photographer, you can use almost anything.
I mean, even them Polaroids you did, those are good
yeah,
too.
those are shit, man. The only one that's good is decent is that one. So all of those are
They're cool.
Those are all test Polaroids for me.
Yeah.
I got that SX70, and it doesn't. With a camera like this, you can take a picture and you can look at it and be like, okay, let me adjust this, and then I can take another picture and delete the old one. And with those, you don't know. I can see them nice in frame in my camera. Then when I take the picture and then I look at it 30 minutes later, it looks nothing like what I took the picture of.
Yeah.
Because I didn't adjust that. Like the camera sees that there's a lot of light coming in. So here, I'll grab an example over there. I want to hear something from Canada guy. Tell him to sing something.
Got your guitar, man.
Yeah, it's in the truck though. I won't sing.
I'll be back.
So with these right here, because you probably can't see them too well, because this was all in the shade, and back here was all in direct sunlight, especially him was in direct sunlight.
Yeah.
The camera read this as direct sunlight, so all of that came in funky. I was in the building, so even though it was bright in here and it's super bright, it didn't really seem like it. The camera didn't see it that way. The camera said, oh, it's dark as shit. So it left the shutter open. So when I took the picture, normally the shutter goes like this, opens and closes, and that's the image just for a second. But it read it as dark in here, so it opened up and then closed.
That'd be
And then
overexposure.
and then the Polaroid shot out. So what happened is like there's a guy right here, and you can't see him too well. She's here, but I took the picture, and it took a second. 10 seconds later, the Polaroid popped out. The shutter was taking in all the information. So it's a learning process for me, but it's a expensive learning process. 8 shots cost me about $20.
Damn.
So this right here, let's see if that comes into frame. That's the same picture with me just trying things out. This one over here is with the light meter all the way to the left. This one's to the right. So yeah, so I tried them at 2 different light exposures, and that's what happened. One came out super dark, one came out super light.
I mean, the dark one don't look bad.
It doesn't. It's super contrasty.
The light one is, you know.
So I was basically just trying shit out with my camera.
Yeah.
Like I'd had it. It was the first Polaroid that ever came out that shoot out film. So ones before that, you had to yank it out and separate the film packs. This was the first camera. It came out in 77 or something.
And they still make film for it.
Yeah. And the film on this one, trying to read. Okay. So on this camera, it has focus on it, which most Polaroids don't have these days. And you got like a exposure compensation meter, so you can adjust how dark you think it. The camera does a lot of work itself. So I was trying to get a picture of him chilling with his drone. You can see it a little bit there to his left and right in the middle of my chest. But because the background was so bright, even though he wasn't well lit, the background was so light that the camera adjusted for it and made everything really dark.
It almost looks like a shadow on the wall.
Yeah.
Or like a part of the painting that they have on there.
So it's a lot of learning on my part. It's an expensive learning process. Like I
Yeah.
said, it's probably around $20 for 8 shots.
Wow. Probably take you that minute to get a good one.
Yeah. I only have one good shot. Out of all the shots I've ever taken, I've only taken one good shot with a Polaroid. And it really wasn't even all that great. It wasn't super in focus. So the first photo I ever took with the Polaroid was that one.
What do they call
happened is-
that when the lights do that?
So what it was is that the camera, since it was dark in here, the camera read it as being dark, even though it's fairly well lit in here. And a normal camera, like your iPhone or whatever, can pull that up easy.
Yeah.
No problem. These are from the 70s, so it has a different meter on there. So it's like, oh shit, it's dark in here. I need to leave my eye open for a long time to gather all this light. So I took my first picture, and I'm used to Polaroids just going, and it didn't happen. So I was like, what the fuck? So I took the picture, and then I picked it up and was like, when's the film coming out? So this is weird. And all of a sudden I went, and came out. I let it sit down there for 20 minutes. What happened is when the thing read it was dark in here, it left the eye open to get all the light it could, and it left it open for like 10 seconds. So all of this is basically me grabbing the camera and going, what the hell? Where's the thing at? And it's getting all of these lights.
Yeah. That's what you gotta do to get a good picture of the moon, right?
Pretty much, like a long exposure, not of the moon, but of the stars for sure. This one it was too bright out there, and I didn't adjust for it, because that camera, you're not really seeing it. You're seeing just as you are, but your camera's seeing something different.
Yeah.
And you won't notice for 30 minutes, so I took that one.
I like how you just drew the faces on.
Yeah, it's okay. We work it out. And then this one is one that turned out okay, but it wasn't like super in focus. I wanted that in focus and that out of focus.
I mean, it kind of worked.
That's the only
still
good picture
cool,
I've
though.
taken.
Yeah, that's rad.
So, I retract my original statement. The photography that I see you post on social media is always great.
Well, I'm always working on
And
it, man.
it's always interesting.
Thank you. I'm trying. So this camera right here, I think with everything I bought with it, it's probably $1,500.
Wow.
It's not even a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
Like there's a camera called a Leica M6. I think that is it's probably around a $4,000 to $6,000 camera. And it's a rangefinder that came out like in the 80s, 70s and 80s, and even before that. Leica's been around since the World War I.
Yeah.
The one I was looking at just recently was $700 something, and it's all mechanical. There's no screen. It's all film. I have 3 of the camera that takes that, just because I find them at a good deal, and I'm like, hey, you know, I can always sell them later. It's a camera that collapses. Did you ever see it?
Yeah.
You did?
Well, maybe not all 3, but the one you brought here.
You can't see much of it, but it collapses.
That's a good picture of the camera.
Yeah, I took a picture of a picture. Yeah, of a
Did you
beer.
take that with your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phones these days are, you know, you almost don't even need a really good camera. And they've done plenty of videos to kind of show you don't need. I can take a picture of this, use Pro Mode, and give you all of the features that you had with the previous. I can focus out the background, and then in post you can go and like make it more fuzzy. You can add like a spirally background. You can do things to make certain things in color and certain things not in color.
Wow.
It's crazy the stuff that phones can do these days. So if next time I go travel, I'll probably take my phone. I'll probably take one. I don't know. That's a hard thing to say, because if I can't bring Polaroid because,
Yeah, you just never know.
well, I could only bring maybe 3 or 4 packs on me, and that's $100 worth of packs. If I'm paying $20 a piece, not counting shipping or anything, it's $100 worth of packs.
Yeah.
And the Polaroid, and then bring another camera, and then film, or if I do digital, like it's a lot of extra shit to bring with you.
Yeah.
Normally when I go on trips, I don't bring anything. I bring like a shitty phone, even something that I don't care if it gets stolen. I'm like, whatever. This one
You ever
is
had
not a
that
shitty
happen?
phone. No. Everybody's super chill. You don't really have to, if you're doing dumb shit, like there are people getting robbed in, what was it, Budapest?
Yeah.
Because it would be tourists, and they'd have their phone out on like 6-foot long selfie sticks, taking pictures of themselves on a bridge. So guys would drive by on bikes and just yank them and keep driving.
Yeah.
So I never did shit like that. I kept I kept one card in one pocket, one card in the other pocket, and cash somewhere else. So if something went missing, like if my card got stolen, one card got stolen, I could cancel it. If the other card got stolen, I could cancel it, and I still had the other one to return to. And then worst case scenario, I always had cash. I kept my passport separate. And then there's every hostel, because I stayed at hostels, they have like lockers, and you bring your own lock.
Mm-hmm.
So your own security is based on how good of a lock you get. So just buy a decent lock. You know, buy some little shitty one that somebody can shim. Just find a decent one that, you know, it's pretty good. What's up, Chandler?
What's up, Chandler?
Chan Man. Yeah, just find you see a good lock, and you just toss all your shit in there, and anything you're really worried about. You know, nobody's gonna steal your clothes or books or, you know.
What's the wildest thing you've had happen traveling?
I've never had anything really,
Like just some crazy shit.
like nothing ever really got stolen or even got thought to be stolen. I guess when I was in Morocco, there was a guy who, he looked like he was, so imagine like a Moroccan dude. So very dark skin, he's got this really thick Burt Reynolds mustache, dark hair, almost like a picture, just like a Middle Eastern dude, but with a really thick Burt Reynolds mustache. But most people are dressed in these, if you've seen Indiana Jones, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you've seen Star Wars, you know what I'm talking about. These giant hooded robes that are brown or tan or white. They have hoods on them, right? And they cover your whole body. Most guys have that. This guy looks like he's fucking out of GQ magazine. He's got like a windbreaker on. He's got like nice shoes on. He's got like, this dude is decked out, but he's got to be like 45 years old.
Yeah.
So I'm hanging out with some friends in a coffee shop, and I'm like, that dude's fly as shit. Like, surrounded by these guys who are dressed looking like Obi-Wan Kenobi. This guy's looking cool, and I was like, that guy's fly as shit.
Yeah.
And he heard me, and I think you might have some connection issues. Your stream is kind of choppy. Yeah. Some reason today in here, I don't know if they're trying to sabotage me or what. I'll hop up to 2K, and then I'll pop down to 900.
So yeah, I don't know what's going on. I hate to see it because it's usually never an issue. What connection am I on? Yeah, I'm on the good connection. So I don't know. You make sure my Wi-Fi's are off on this. It's off here. Let's turn it off here. Maybe that'll help. But yeah, I mentioned like I was talking to a dude and I was like, yeah, that guy's fucking fly, man. And I guess he heard us like on the street selling cigarettes. He's got like what you would see in like old casinos, the one with the strap that comes down here, and they've got a thing full of just cigarettes.
Yeah.
And he's like, he turns around and he's like, don't talk about people you don't know. Like he's basically like, he kind of threatened me and was like, look, you don't know me, don't fucking talk about me. He's like, and I was like, easy, bro. Like, chill out.
That was a compliment.
It's like, you're like, I just said you look fly. I said you dress nice. You're like 5 foot tall. Please fuck off. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, that's about it, man. Nothing else I really had any issues. I mean, I've had stuff like, I think I was trying to get to Croatia, and I was coming down from like, maybe I was in Bratislava or one of those places. I was in like Slovakia, and I was coming down, taking a train, trying to get to Croatia, and you know, I'm sleeping on the train. I got my bag in my arms, and then I feel like a push, and I'm like, oh. And I look up, look around. There's nobody else on the train. I'm like, what the fuck? And there's the guy that's like, he says some shit to me, and I was like, what? And he's like, border closed, have to go back. So it was just a guy that was sitting on the train that was just nice enough to let me know that the borders were closed. This is during like the refugee crisis.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people from Libya and stuff coming in there and just crashing on most of Europe. And countries, to keep them out, to keep these refugees out, they would just close their borders. And you don't really know what borders are closed. You can ask the train station and be like, hey, are the borders good? And they're like, as of now, they're good.
We don't know.
Yeah, so apparently I was going all the way to Croatia, and then I was stopped, and they were like, hey, you got to go back. There's a bus that's going to take you back to Austria.
What?
And I was like, you're going to have to go around the other way. So I had to go Austria, Slovenia, down into Croatia, because they're just closing borders, which is a bit weird, but it says way better now. I'm down to 632 kilobytes per second, and it hops up to like 2K. I don't know what's going on with the connection today. I've never had it like this at the brewery before. It's always had a good connection, so I don't know what's going on. You trying to tell me to drink?
No, I'm trying to get him to open that can.
Oktoberfest.
I done went through the rest of this.
Oh, you fiending, huh?
Yeah.
Slovenia,
Teeth
man.
started chattering.
I swear there's a pipeline between here and Slovenia. 'Cause I do a lot of amateur radio, and
It was like ham radio and stuff like that.
every time I get on there, there's dudes in Slovenia I can hear. I can hear them sometimes in Germany, very, very light.
You do ham radio?
He's big into that stuff.
I didn't think there was anybody around here that did it. So you got all the connections, you got all the equipment and stuff?
Yeah.
Where do you do it
yeah.
at? Your house?
Yeah, my
His
dad's
Snapchat
house.
is Radio Freak.
My dad's house.
I want to go to your house and get on the ham.
His rig that he's getting.
Get on that.
His house. Got
I've seen
set
people
up.
selling on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace like crazy setups. People are just like, I don't know what this is. I found it in storage, and I was like, that's fucking ham, or that's one of these others that are you know
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's expensive, and they'll be selling it for next to nothing.
Yeah.
I won't do it.
You just have to make sure
Just
you know how to fix it all, because when it goes to shit, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a dude. This right here is the dude to talk to. He does all that
I
stuff.
dig that old shit.
I do
Literally
too,
the
man.
dude to talk to.
I got an old Yaesu 840 FT840 radio that I use, and it's like, it's super old school and it's super, you know, like just compact, but it's wide open, like 30 megahertz to 1 megahertz. Like,
So you're getting
you
stuff
can
from all
hear.
over the world?
Yeah. Well, you can't transmit on all those frequencies, but there's modifications you can do to transmit on those frequencies.
You can just
And
talk
those
shit
have
with
happened
those
to have
guys?
been done on the radio that I have. But
You just talk shit to those guys?
no, you do have to have a license. I have a license, but you can do that. But you're limiting yourselves to some CB mentality. But
Fair enough.
But you do
It
a
just
lot of
seems-
like check-ins, right?
what I
See
basically do
a bunch
is
of
like we were
people.
talking about earlier, fishing. It's basically like fishing on the radio.
Okay.
You find somebody you can hear, you figure out if they can hear you. Like that's all it is. If they can hear you, you just exchange signal reports. You're at this level, I'm at this level. Okay, I copy that. You exchange call signs, and then that's it. It's like 15-second. But really, the way that the radio signals are traveling, the atmosphere in both places, like has a lot to do with how long you can talk. So 15 seconds, a lot of times is as long as you can talk. Other
15
times,
is as long as you can talk?
sometimes, yeah.
Like after 15 seconds, it just.
You would be surprised. I'll be sitting there listening to the radio, and there's so much chatter because there's so many people on, and then all of a sudden it's just like nobody. Just because the atmospheric conditions in both places doesn't support the propagation. So it's like
It's crazy.
So
Yeah.
you got into it from your dad?
my dad was doing CB originally, and I was in Idaho and he was in Georgia, and we were trying to figure out a way to you can call each other on the phone. But, it'd just be cool to be able to talk to each other another way.
Yeah.
So we figured it out, and we
They
did
didn't
it. We
work.
got
They
our
did some of
license.
that. They did some of that in like Stranger Things, right?
Yes, they did.
What'd you think about the accuracy of things in Stranger Things?
Well, the frequencies that they used was wrong.
Okay.
It's close, but wrong. You would get a $10,000 fine from the FCC if you use that same exact frequency that they showed you on Stranger Things. But the accuracy of going out and using a radio, like I didn't have a place to set up an antenna, so I'd go to a campground, and that's pretty much what they did. They carried their antenna and their radio. They didn't have a really good power source, so that's one thing. Accuracy. You can do it with a solar power, but you're not really using a lot of power. Across as far as they talked, I don't think you'd be able to do it. It's called QRP, low power, maybe 5 watts. I don't think you'd be able to really hold a long conversation as far as they were talking in Stranger Things.
What's the farthest you've got?
From Idaho to Japan,
And like held conversations?
not long, a minute. But I was only using 100 watts. It really depends on the antenna I'm using, the antenna the other person's using, and how much power each of us is using. If they've got a really great antenna, then I can use less power. But if they've got a bad antenna and I got a bad antenna, we're probably not even going to hear each other. Like I got a friend in Utah
Crazy
last
how
week.
That stuff works.
We tried. He could hear me, but I couldn't hear him. It just I
He
don't-
had good setup and you didn't, or
no. I had alright antenna. He had alright antenna, but it's just the band conditions, like on
there's a lot of variables that come into play that.
yeah, a lot that we don't even think about, like the bombardment that we're currently under right now of radio waves, FM, AM, sideband, all these different kind of radio waves that we're just getting hit just sitting in this room.
Yeah.
We don't even think about it because we can't see them. But that's a lot of shit. There's a lot of shit. And interference. Man-made interference, big mechanical machines, electrical, just plants and stuff make a lot of noise. Thunder makes a really, the static crashes that happens on the radio. You can hear thunder through the dial. It's pretty awesome.
So what's kind of like an ideal setup? Like, how long have you been into this?
Since 2013,
13. So what's like if you had just all the money in the world, what would you do with that as far as like a setup?
well, it depends on your license class. Because if you're a technician, you can only use like a limited amount of wattage. And so really, you could have the best radio and the biggest amp in the world, but not be able to legally use it. But
So you just have to just
the limit is
take a
1,500
test and-
watts. Yeah, there's 3 levels of tests, and I've taken all 3. My dad's only taken the first 2, but they're really like all the answers are out there. You just got to study. Like
so you just take a test and pass it and you're good.
the thing is like the first 2 tests, they have a bank of questions, 300 questions. 50 are going to be on.
I think the
30
first
are going
one's
to be on the
better.
test. 30 are going to be on the test, but you got to know all of them because you don't know which ones are going to be on there.
Yeah.
But the last test is 700 questions, and 50 are going to be on there.
You passed that one?
Yeah, you got to know every answer because
You
you
have to be
never.
really into it.
you just have to
Yeah, that's
want
gotta
to do it.
Yeah.
But
And that certification, or is it does it last you only a limited amount of time, or you kind of just have it forever?
It's 10 years, and you can renew it. If you don't renew it, it will expire, and you have to get the test again. But as long as you renew it on time, you can have your call sign for as long as you.
Renew it's just paying money.
So
No, you don't even have to
what's
renew
your
it.
call sign?
KF4J is my call sign. So, because I have the highest level class, I can get a shorter call sign. Most people have. My first call sign was KG7EIY, so it's a lot longer. But if you get the highest class, you can apply for a shorter call
This
sign.
is so much more cooler than bringing a guitar.
Well, it's something that I've always been interested in, and I know it's nothing I'll ever dive deep in. But I saw, like, I would go on various like Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and eBay, and I would go to these different markets and just see tons of this stuff selling, and people not knowing what it is, or them just having some slight idea of what it is. Maybe they read something on the side of it and post it and be dirt cheap, and I'm like, oh, that'd be awesome to be able to have conversations with people all over the world. And but I guess there's so many variables in that are going to limit you in your conversation, that as
Well,
it's mostly just novelty.
it is, but at the same time, in emergency situations, radio is the only way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, think
when
about
when cell phones go down, really everything is radio. Cell phones, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all of that shit's radio. But we just don't look at it like that.
hell, Nashville. I mean, they just had that bombing,
Yeah.
and phones went
Communication
out.
center
Everything
went
went
down.
out. 911 went down. That's the only way you could operate is on radio.
But
and
I mean,
stuff
so
like
it's
that.
good
It's
that
crazy.
way. Like you can send pictures through the radio. Like I've got an app. It's called Slow Scan TV. You can take a picture, and then it comes up with this code. It's like it's just 1 solid minute of something like that. But you can send it to someone else. Like
And it translates into a picture.
yeah.
What
And-
noises it make?
So there's that. And
Well, you have to have internet connection to do that.
No, you have a radio here and a radio there.
But how does your phone pick it up and translate it into?
An app.
And the app is not relying on internet.
You just have to type the code in, or what?
So I can just key the radio next to my phone, and it will pick up the audio from it, and then transmit it through the radio. I could send a picture to my friend in Utah if I just took a picture with
And
my
he'll
phone
receive it.
with the app, and then
And how
keyed the mic next to my phone.
effective is it?
It can be spotty, like the conditions, but if you have that 1500 watts and the conditions are good, then you're going to get a solid picture.
Like, I mean, something you can
I'll show you
blow
some
up and
pictures that I've picked
Blow it up and post it on Instagram.
I have, yeah, I have.
Yeah, he's put it up on Instagram.
I'll show you
Stuff
some
that he
pictures
sent.
that I've received, and one that I mean, I can send them all day. It depends on who wants to pick them up or not.
Yeah,
You can be that.
This is the one that I sent. It's just actually it was a plain picture, and then I manipulated it with.
Can you be a dick and send dick pics to people all over,
these,
all over
these,
the world?
These are some that I've picked up. This guy was
It's
in.
like, that almost looks like Gibraltar.
This was in California. That was in.
It's got like a Florida vibe.
It looks like Panama, Arizona.
No, that's
Well, that's a
Oh.
picture of Australia, but he's
Yeah.
in Arizona. I don't know why. Another dude from Arizona. This is these letters at the bottom, 73 and thanks for QSO. Like these guys made a picture contact. So one guy sent a picture, he received it, turned around and sent the other guy a picture, and then they made a contact that way.
So is that their call sign?
Yeah, these are their call signs there, and then that's just saying thanks for the contact. So I mean, it's really an old man's hobby.
It's neat stuff.
No, I mean, but honestly, like when shit goes to hell, the people who have that skill are
That's my favorite one I received. I don't know why.
it's a coffee cup.
It's just a coffee cup. A cup and some tea, but I guess the graininess of it,
yeah.
it's just, I don't know.
When shit goes to hell, and inevitably will.
Yeah, those are the guys
It's
that-
all just a matter of time. It's not.
how or what is more like just a when it's going to happen. It could be 30 years, it could be 1 year, who knows. But you know, guys like you are going to have the upper hand, and you can actually communicate, you know, what that communication will help with, and what, you know, who's going to hear it. And
It's like you know, the radio in The Walking Dead. You know, like they could call you there, but like, can you trust them? Have you seen that? The radio at Terminus?
Mm-mm.
It's like they were calling people to come here. This is a safe place, a sanctuary, and it's just like, no, totally not.
Yeah.
It's just a trap.
Mm.
You know.
Did you ever put that one in the beer can?
Yeah, I haven't even drank it yet.
Oh,
So this is
It's gone.
Oktoberfest Lager, and
I actually like this one better.
I get Spotty Connection. What is it called? I get Spotty Connection. What is it called? The beer? The beer is Oktoberfest, Yellow Hammer Brewing, Huntsville,
It's
Alabama.
another one. We're not on the same one. We're on another one.
This is Oktoberfest is Yellow Hammer's once a year offering suited for shorter days and cooler nights. Brewed with German Vienna and Munich malts. It's crisp and hearty lager is classic brew for the fall season. And yeah, Huntsville, Alabama. Boom. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the connection because it's been really spotty today, and I've never had it like that here at Pretoria. Never. It's always been great.
Yeah.
Like it'll go up to almost 3K and then go down to like 700 kilobytes a second. So somewhere around 0.5 to like 3 megabytes per second, which is pretty atrocious. It's bad. I almost need, but I haven't gotten to the point. Maybe I'll do it when I get to Nashville.
Like Ethernet.
No, like buying a portable modem almost, like something that I can travel
like
around with and have internet anywhere I'm at as long as the connection's
Like
good.
a hotspot type deal.
Yeah, hotspot. I mean, I can do tethering with this. It's just it's still not great. Doing some camping. It's definitely me. I'm up in mountains in Asheville. No, the radio thing. Do you want
Yeah.
ham?
Yeah, I mean,
There's other things other than ham, right?
There's CB. There's commercial radio. You like for certain ships, you have to have a licensed radio operator on.
I'll
But-
say we have to go through a whole thing about, you know, even at work.
Yeah, you guys use radios on the trains.
Yeah.
Police radios, like, you know, civil service radios, like there's tons, like Walmart, they got their own radios. Even McDonald's has radios in their drive-thru. So like, but you know, one of the things about police radio that a lot of people don't know is that it used to be wide open. You used to be able to get a scanner from Radio Shack and listen.
Oh yeah.
You could listen.
And now you hear, zzz, zzz, and
It's like
just
some encrypting?
packets. Yeah. Oh, everything's encrypted. You cannot decrypt it. It's like you have to be programmed in their computer system,
Yeah, there's
and
no
their
way to
frequencies
decode
are changing constantly, so that you can't hear it. And I think that's a matter of public safety. Like, we need to be able to hear what they're responding to, because we're out of the loop now, as the public, you know.
So you like it better that it's encrypted or not encrypted?
No, absolutely not. It does not need to be encrypted. They can say they're using it to prevent crime. Well, get a better system than that, because, I mean, like, I think we need to be able to hear what they're receiving, the calls they're receiving, and how they're responding. In Idaho, it was one of the last places that I have been. There's still police departments that don't have encrypted radio. But I heard a guy in Idaho get shot like 11 times because he robbed a Walgreens pharmacy. But like, I could hear the shots outside my door, and I could hear them through the radio because I was listening on the scanner. And it was just like, that's happening all the time. We just don't get to hear it.
Yeah.
And like, how could, if communities respond to calls that they don't even know are happening, issues they don't even know is going on.
Can you record from that, from like ham and all those? Can you?
I mean, there's a way. You could, if you had an output, you could record into a computer. And there's people that do stream, you know, they've got remote ham stations that, like, say I didn't have a big setup, but I got an internet connection. I could get on this program on my computer and remote into a big ham setup and just like rent it for an hour and talk to people from my computer using my license.
So do that with like Twitch or something like that?
No,
I wonder if there's anybody who does that.
There are people. There's so many things with radio. They've got a repeater on the space station, and a repeater, you get into it, and then it takes what you say and turns around and retransmits it. So yeah, I can get a straight shot to the space station.
It's a ping.
Yeah, and then it takes it and spreads it everywhere that it can reach. So there's people constantly talking back and forth from Earth to some random place on Earth from the space station. And that's cool, you know, 250,000 miles away, or 2,500 miles away to the space station. But 250,000, you can bounce radio signals off the moon and do the same kind of thing. Some random location.
What?
Yeah, it's called EME, Earth, Moon, Earth, or moon bounce. And it's like, you know, if you have a directional antenna, you can beam it straight to the moon, and you can receive and transmit. Same thing, conditions apply.
Can other people receive this as well? If they're
It's, you know, it's very selective. Like the angles of the radiation, all that stuff is like, you just can't hear everybody that can see the moon. But it, you know, I'm not exactly sure how it works.
I mean,
but
if you
know it's
sent a
been
signal
done.
up there and it, you know, it came back, the EME, right?
Mm-hmm.
You did that. Could somebody else like listen and catch whatever?
For sure, and talk back to you. Yeah, you can make contacts through moon bounce. It's pretty
be
pretty
like-
rad stuff.
The moon bright as hell tonight, huh? And then it goes out and they're like, yeah, that bitch be bright.
Yeah, you could do that. I hadn't done it. They've got software that
I don't think there's silly people on the radio on ham. I think there should be,
No.
but I think it's a bunch of old men who are like,
there are.
Are you serious?
This is 104 quick or something.
and they're just, you know, they're just tapping in and saying a bunch of stuff, and then people are writing it down, and then like, and then they're going out, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, they call them rag chewers.
They'd be like, how's your girl's booty be looking?
Like, there's nobody in there like talking shit or.
No, that's CB right there, channel 19. That's CB all the way. I've heard some of the craziest shit on CB. Yeah, oh yeah. Truckers, and they're not really even truckers. They're like just people that have a ham or CB license or CB radio that don't want. They just want to get on there and fuck around.
Do you have
know?
to have a CB license?
No.
You can just have a CB radio and be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, look
But
it
they're
up.
very limited on how much wattage you can put out and all that. Like, if you got an amp for CB, you can get a pretty big fine.
You can't just play dumb and be like, oh, I just bought this off eBay. I don't know nothing about this.
No,
I don't know,
they
but
don't
I've heard
care.
The more tennis balls you put on the antenna, the farther it will reach.
Okay, so the two antennas that you see on trucks sometimes, like, is
Air
just the
cool,
stupidest
more cool.
thing, because they're basing it off of they're being phased, but they're too close together. Like the wavelengths that CB is, it's too close for the phased effect to work between the mirrors of a truck. So like having two antennas, it's just
redundant.
stupidity.
So
No, it's smart if they're far enough apart.
how many machines do you have in your normal setup?
My setup, I have power supply,
Okay.
the radio itself, the transmitter and receiver, and I use an antenna tuner. Basically, it changes the impedance and resistance of my antenna setup so that it matches my transmitter and the frequencies that I'm transmitting
Stand
on.
up.
So like I can use
Did you
this
guys stand
same
up?
Yeah,
antenna.
this still's killing my ass.
You can get up, man, if you need to.
About to.
Is me rolling that roller chair from the
No.
radio station?
No.
But I use the antenna tuner to basically so I can use the same antenna for multiple frequencies. If you really want a solid, solid antenna, you'll cut it for one single frequency. But
Sometimes I'll see people set up and they're in this small like little garage and it's literally like a desk that goes like this and it's just like stacks.
Radios, yeah.
Stacks.
I'm not that. I don't have that much money, or I would be like that.
Or you see like some kind of like almost like Rambo movie where it's like we got to take out their communications.
Yeah.
We got to take out their communications, and then
And
you
that's
go
what
in
the
there and
radio's
it's like a
like.
desk with like tons and tons of systems.
Yeah. I know I got a picture on here of the radio that I use. But my
You've
dad.
seen that, right? Like
Oh,
like
yeah.
in
It'll be in a tower.
I mean shit.
Because
I've done
apparently the radio tower is.
I've done that in Metal Gear. I'm a big Metal Gear fan, and then they're like, we got to take out their communications tower, and then you go and there's usually like a satellite on top of the tower.
But it's always a tower.
That's a simple setup.
Yeah.
I'll see like in video games, video games are always like fantasy and fantastical. But it'll be like stack, 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 and they'll have a little microphone or like a little thing they can press, and that's their whole setup.
Yeah. No, it ain't got to be like that.
But you can reach, Indonesia with that thing probably, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I would love to have something like that, but then also it's weird. It's weird being interested in so much stuff that you get spread so thin, and it's kind of like the whole jack of all trades thing that you get interested in so much that you're not really good at any of them. You're kind of shitty at all of them.
Yeah, but you got like just enough knowledge to.
I like things that help you with other things. Like ham radio has helped me so much in audio engineering. Like understanding what a compressor is and like a preamp.
I mean, I've always had interest in that stuff.
Yeah.
But I've never had anybody who kind of had a setup and I could just kind of go there and like learn stuff. But I'm slowly like meeting people that are kind of putting me in paths to learn things. But as much as I like it, I'm spread so thin that. So I got into scuba diving, and I love scuba diving, and I just have the first level of certification. I'd love to go further, but I like traveling, and I wanted to get my dive certification because if I'm like in Vietnam, I would like to know that I can dive off the coast of Vietnam and see some, or if I'm in Italy, I can see some stuff that most people don't see.
Yeah.
I got into photography, but there's money that goes into that, and I got into art, and there's all these things that I've, the Furmans who supplied some of the beer I have on various episodes, like the Sweet Baby Jesus, which is hard to find.
That's good stuff, though.
But, they sail boats, like old school sailing. And I've got I'm trying to set up a time with them to kind of go out and learn how to sail. There's so much stuff that I want to learn, and you only have so much time. And the more time you put into this, the less time you can put into this or this or this or this. So it's kind of the jack of all trades, the master of none. But it's more so like you're pretty shitty at everything, but at least you know a little bit about it. Yeah. You're above the average person in everything, but
you can get by.
But the Japanese person who's gotten into this is like, you're like this and they're like way up here, and you're not at the top of any of your fields.
Yeah.
But I just have so many interests. I love languages. I love travel, like scuba diving and sailing and photography. I've always been interested in in just radio and just like that old form of like connecting people that's not relying on internet. And if all shit goes to hell, that you can get in there and you can maintain it and you can communicate. And if you've got to convey some message or receive some message, that you can do that. Or like survival stuff, being somebody like Ben Kirkland, Kayla Kirkland's dad, he's been doing primitive skills for 30 years, give or take, almost longer than I've been alive. He can go out into the woods, kill an animal, make a weapon, make a house. He can do all of that.
Yeah.
He's, any primitive skill you can think of, he's got 30 years plus of experience. So blacksmithing. That's kind of one of the reasons why I created the show, is because there's just so much stuff that I wanted to learn. There's so many people that you would never expect that have these unique skills or unique interests that are just right around the corner, or you bumped into them, or you already know them but didn't know. You know, we started talking about you know, in the music side of it, and platinum and all of that, and that's cool and all, but I actually think that the radio stuff that you do is far more interesting. You know, there's millions and millions of people out there who are involved with various production companies who have those skills, and as much as I think they are cool, I do think they're cool because I'm a music lover. I feel like what you're doing now with the radio is so outdated, and I don't know, you're kind of keeping it alive, man. Like, there's not really a lot of young people these days who are getting interested in that.
Yeah.
That, I think it's awesome. And like I said, there's people every day that you bump into that have some unique skill.
Yeah.
You never know, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways, I ventured. I feel like there's beer that I need to be
very
drinking.
cool.
I feel like there's beer that
told
we
you,
need
it's
to be
cooler than
drinking.
me bringing a guitar. I'll bring a guitar next time.
I feel like you've
because,
only played on the show one time, man.
I did. I only played one.
This is
time.
your, what, fourth time being on the show?
third.
Is it your third?
Third. Yeah, I came out once at Jake's house, and then once here with Kofi.
And then one time you played. Oh, that's the one time you at Jake's house.
Yeah,
This is your third time.
yeah. I'll bring it next time. I promise.
I don't want you to think that you have to play.
No, I will.
I'm thinking that you're like, you know, you have your little thing and you're like, dance for me, monkey, play. You know, it's not like that. Like, even though you're
Easy
skilled
now.
at what you do, like
Easy.
I feel like that's not all of who you are.
Yeah.
All right, this is Wacky Wavy, and this was a Riley Anderson supplied beer today. It's a fruity, hazy IPA from the Brewing Project. It says Mango Wacky Wavy Fruited Hazy IPA. I think they did all this on purpose to like wacky waving, inflatable arm flailing too.
I seen one the other day. It scared the shit out of me.
Wavy too, man.
Yeah, like hearing the
Wacky
fan
waving,
kick
inflatable
off
arm
of it.
flailing, too.
It was like outside, right outside my truck. I freaked the fuck out, man.
I started looking at labels a lot more lately because there's a lot of them that breweries will reuse. So like a sticker like this, like not this one obviously doesn't apply, but we had one last week. I think we had two last week that they basically took old labels and they just kind of applied new stickers over them and used some of the graphics.
Oh, that's cool.
That way they didn't have to, like, they already had the cans label and everything from
Yeah.
a company. That way if they made a new beer, they didn't have to go about and do a whole new label. None of these seem like they're really applicable to it, but
That's interesting. I have to look at that now.
You gonna show that one?
yeah, I definitely will before I pry it apart. Wacky Waving Fruity
That shit
Hazy
smell good.
IPA, the Brewing Project. This is
That's what it said.
Citra, El
Soft
Dorado,
or
and
some shit.
mango. And it is
It's hoppy
from,
for sure. That's
Yeah.
like straight hops.
But it's a lot of fruit.
I'm trying to see where
What
the
fruit?
fuck this is from.
You can smell it.
Brewed and canned
I
by
smell hops.
Use your nose, Radio
La
Boy.
Claire Brewing Project.
I smell hops.
And
And fruit.
Okay, but I
Wisconsin.
don't know what fruit. What fruit would you say is in there? Using your nose. Grapefruits.
No. Probably some lime, some orange.
this is a Wisconsin beer. The Brewing Project is the name of the brewery. Ooh. I like that smell.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm about that.
So I tried
That's
this
probably the best smelling
earlier in the
IPA
week.
we've had in here today.
That's it.
Prost, as the Germans say.
That's funky. That's good.
Oh
That little middle, that sweet in the
I
middle.
like that.
What
That is,
is
that is sweet.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
What is that?
I don't know, just hops.
That is sweet. Skills like eating that stank kitty. I do have that skill. That is a skill, and a lot of these guys don't know about it these days.
Is it? Yeah. I mean,
I Oh, what is
Sometimes you just gotta hold your breath.
like cream
Sometimes
soda.
you just have to embrace it.
So
Sometimes you just have to disassociate.
up here at work recently,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say
That's
who
what
it
it
is,
is.
but I'm not going to point out anybody. But here recently, we had a private party up here. It was a bunch of guys from a private school in town.
Oh boy.
And it was just a bunch of just super gooby looking dudes and like pretty hot girls that all looked exactly the same. All the guys looked like exactly the same. They all bought the same clothes from Columbia, Patagonia, and Field and Stream magazine. They all look like, you know, they drive a big truck that daddy's money paid for. And the girls were all hot, but they all dress exactly the same too. So it's all the same tight pants and leather black jacket and the same, you know. Anyways, I was trying not to be mean when I was here because that's not generally my personality, but it was just really hard not to be that way.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess it's me being just a little bitter because, you know, I grew up super poor and I wasn't this kid that just always had daddy's money and, you know, drove around in like $100,000 truck and wore the best clothes and
Oh, I get it, man. I get it. I got haircuts on a milk crate because we couldn't afford to go to the barber shop.
it's probably just a little bit of envy, but also I'm kind of glad I was raised the way I was and I'd gone through what I did because it made me different, you know. Like I love languages, I love history, I love traveling. I've been, you know, I've been to, you know, a lot of countries and I've, you know, ate their food and spoke their languages.
You genuine. That's what that means. You genuine. That's it.
I bet you had opportunities that they'll never have.
What's
I know,
that?
I know you're thinking like, you know, that they got daddy's money and stuff, but at the same time, you got opportunities. You've had opportunities that they won't have. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think that a lot of times that, I don't know, I try not to be mean because I understand that it's not their fault, you know?
Yeah.
That's how they were raised and that's how,
Well, that's how
they don't know
everybody- that's their
anything
mentality,
different.
you know? I mean, that's
Just
even
as
when-
I had no control over how I was, they had no control over how they were.
Yeah.
But it made me appreciate things a little differently or see things a little differently. And it also, like, I don't really care about money. Like, I really don't. Like,
Yeah.
I save money and then I save it to spend it on experiences over having like monetary things.
Right.
Like, you know, I have all this stuff for the show. I have got equipment, but it's just so I can talk to you guys and push it out to there. Everything has a use. You know, I needed a computer that could process it all. I needed a decent microphone. I needed to be able to light the situation. I needed to be able to picture it and show the beer and
Yeah.
like none of this stuff is fancy at all.
But I mean, when you have kids, you don't want your kids to have to go through what you did. growing
I
up.
do.
You do?
I do.
I mean, to an extent.
I don't want
understand
my
that,
kids to be
But
spoiled.
another side of that, I mean, yeah, no, I don't want my kids to be spoiled, but I don't. Some of the shit that I mean,
I don't know, like
I don't know that. Yeah, that's
the more
There's some shit I never want to see my kids have to do what I did.
the older I get, the more I appreciate it, you know? Like, it's not like my parents were really slacking. Like, my mom
Yeah.
was working crazy hours and giving plasma, and, like, everybody was doing the best they could.
Yeah.
And I have crazy work ethics. I've never called out a single day in my life, ever. I've never called out sick. I've shown up to every single shift I've ever been scheduled. I might show up a minute or two late, but I show up to every single shift. I've never called out a day in my life. But I don't know, like, I think that I appreciate things a little bit more, and then I see value in the small things that people
Yeah.
that were not raised that way, that if it's not Jordans or if they aren't Louis Vuitton or if it's not like these really, then they don't see value in it.
I guess, but also seeing value in getting to earn it. You know what it feels like getting to earn that kind of stuff.
True.
Versus getting it handed to you.
Yeah.
That's the big one that I've got to learn. It's like you know, there's not a whole lot of stuff. I mean, other than maybe get guitars or like really just guitars.
I mean,
That's like the one main thing that I look at as far as like when I'm gonna spend money on myself. I'm gonna get a
I
guitar.
feel that. Like,
But it's like knowing that you earn that fucking thing
Oh, yeah.
versus it being handed to. I mean, that's
Yeah.
it's a different
Like, I've
feeling.
got-
It's a different feeling.
I've probably got, besides like Neo Geo consoles, I've got pretty much, and like Ataris and stuff. Other than
Yeah.
that, I've got pretty much every console that's. I've got boxes and boxes and boxes of consoles in storage. I've got, you know, I don't want to think about how many fucking games I've got. Just
Do you think you have more than the Cool Place though? Shout out Cool Place. Ain't been there yet, but I'm gonna go. And they
do I
have
have
beer
more?
now.
Do I
over
have more
65
consoles in
beers.
them? So they have redundancy. So they'll have like 5 PlayStation 4s or something like that,
Yeah.
or 5 Xbox Ones. I
They
don't
got
have
that
that kind
VR
of revi-
system now. You can go get VR. You can go do VR at the Cool Place.
But I mean, I've got everything from like Neo Geo Pocket. I've got like 3 Vitas, or no, I've got 3 PSPs. I've got a Vita. I've got tons of. I've got
You remember when
Game
PSP
Gear.
came out? We thought the Earth was finna explode when the PSP came out. You're telling me I can play PlayStation in my lap?
Yeah, I got 3 of them.
That's cool.
When
I never had
PlayStation-
one.
When PlayStation
They're
came out,
amazing.
I
I
thought
had,
it was a Hot Wheels track. It was just like from hell. Like,
Yeah, I've got
You
the
know-
one that flips up that has a screen built into it. This travel. It's got a battery pack on the bottom.
That's
I've got
crazy.
like
Yeah.
GameCubes. I've got
I never
like
had anything
Sega
like that.
Saturn and Sega CD and Dreamcast, 64 of course, Nintendo, Super Nintendo,
Yeah.
Wii U, pretty much anything I could. I've always been like a video game guy. I probably haven't played a video game in like 3 months, but I used to be a huge video game guy.
Yeah, I had like the PS1, Spyro. Spyro was my favorite.
Yeah, I love the PS1. It's a
And
great
then I
system.
got into like PS2 was only. I don't know, it's hard to explain how I
God
got
of
into
War.
PS2. Like I had PS2, but it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't mine.
The one your go-to?
No, it wasn't my PS2.
Oh,
But I got to play it.
I bought
Fair enough.
half of
I never
mine.
got big into. I was always doing sports and extracurriculars, and now I'm a fat ass, and I don't know what happened. I played all
Beer.
sorts of sports:
Beer and
soccer,
guitar.
hockey. I mean, no. Before I was fat before all that. I was fat, way before music or beer showed up. Before that, I always like when I was a kid, I had to shop in the. I had to wear Husky jeans.
we were called Husky.
Yeah, Husky.
I was a Husky kid.
You get
I got
them,
picked on a lot.
Yeah.
I
Go
had
to
dark
Sears.
skin, and I was either called Beaner or I was called Fat Kid. So one of the two.
I was always just a big dude. I never really got big into video games. I always had practice for something: hockey, soccer,
I
baseball.
do like me some hockey,
something. Hockey's fun.
especially when you get on the ice in a minor league and watch them beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah. Hey,
While you drink a beer?
Macon's got a professional league where those guys get paid to play, and they beat the shit out of each other.
Columbus had a team there for a
Shout
while.
out Macon Mayhem. Tickets at Riley Anderson Music, Instagram and Facebook.
You can get tickets from you.
I don't know.
Oh, you just said something about tickets from.
Hey, free plug, man.
He's just throwing shit out. He has no
I
rights to do.
done. I mean, cool place. I done say, hey, the cool place. I ain't never been, but what's up, cool
No,
place?
dude, let's go.
I mean, I'm down. They
We'll
got.
drink some beer and play some
over
VR.
65
Yeah, it sounds
Have you
like
been
they
there
want
yet?
to do VR. No, I haven't.
Oh, dude, the cool place
I'm
is
down
awesome.
to try it. I'm down.
They've got 40 something beer in bottles, and they've got 4 awesome beer on draft. It's not 4 like Miller Lite,
I'm
Bud
down.
Light. It's like 4 good beer on draft and like 40 beer in the bottles and cans.
What's the name of the guy? That Halim.
Halim, yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah, so
I'm down.
Halim is like, you would hear the name and you'd think that it'd be some like Middle Eastern or Arabic guy, and he's like just the whitest guy you've ever met.
Yeah, I've
Didn't
seen him
he-
on an episode.
Did he have a shot in Sylvester for a little bit?
No, you're thinking of Tim, maybe?
I don't know who I'm thinking
He-
about.
he-
There
he-
was a place there.
He did the Epic Fest or whatever it was called in Albany. It was like anime convention. He had a place down in Albany there for a while. No, not that dude. No, Halim's much cooler.
That's cool.
Not throwing shade or anything, but Halim's super cool. I mean,
know the guy
anything
you're
you're into.
talking
If you want to go in there and play pool, you want to play chess, you want to play ping pong, VR,
But they also do like World of Warcraft, Dungeons and Dragons, all sorts of
Dungeons and
cool
Dragons.
shit.
If you want to play Pokemon or WoW or Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, whatever you want, whatever you're into.
Yeah, they be all in it.
You want to play some old Nintendo games? They got you.
So they got all sorts of cool stuff. Yeah, shout out Cool Place.
He's wanting to set up a STEM system, like people can learn STEM.
Yeah,
That
that'd be
didn't
cool.
really work out. They moved locations. I don't think they really have the spot for it right now.
Yeah,
Either way, I chugged down that beer.
yeah, I'm about
That
to.
was
It's
good.
good.
That was that wacky wavy.
Wacky wavy.
Wacky waving inflatable line flailing too, man.
Oh,
No? You're not feeling it?
it's hoppy, man. That's fucking just.
I'll let you
Yeah,
guys
IPAs
choose
aren't
this
his
one.
thing.
I'll use the bathroom while y'all are doing
Either
that.
way, he doesn't
Straight
doesn't
hops.
like IPAs.
IPAs, like all of these are IPAs.
Yeah, we're just
I like
through it.
one beer out of all of these.
Well, that's hazy.
IP,
IPA. Pick one.
I'm working on it. Wait, El Dorado. Wait, no, this one. Look, Huel Melon Continental.
Too late. He
This
just
one's
finished one of the
7%.
beer
What's
can.
that
We're
one?
just gonna do all this. We're
What's
taking
that
over.
one? What's that one?
Unbranded. It's a hazy.
No, it's not unbranded.
That's what it's called. That's the name of it.
What
It's
percentage
unbranded.
is
Give
it?
that to Brandon. 7.2.
Both of them. The Maverick, the U in our logo, is part of our family heritage. My great-great-great-great-grandfather Samuel Maverick used to use his cattle unbranded. So his cows became known as Mavericks today. A Maverick is someone who goes against tradition and does everything their own way.
Where's it from?
I read that all wrong.
It's from somewhere in Florida.
Yeah. Hialeah. How do you say that? Hialeah? Hialeah?
Yeah, Hialeah. I don't know.
Hialeah.
Put some of his
Hialeah, Florida.
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 Florida. You want me to pour his drink?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he busy. Now you gotta make sure if, like, we gotta answer comments. I ain't gonna sing though.
Yeah, you are. It said I need 10,000 songs from Riley Anderson.
Who said that? Who said that?
Nobody.
Yeah, nah, nobody ever will.
They will at Harvest Moon.
Nobody ever will.
Yes,
no,
they
they
will.
want about 3.
They want 3
and
more.
I can name all 3.
So,
What
okay,
three?
so...
No, any 3 you go
He
and
told
play
me
after
to
the
pour
next
yours,
3.
so I did.
It's all good. So this is the original Mavericks. It's got kind of like a Longhorn kind of vibe. Unbranded Brewing Company, and this is why Unbranded Brewing Company. The Maverick,
beast
or
name.
Better
the
than the
U
last one.
in our logo, is part of our family heritage. My great-great-great-great-great-grandfather Samuel Maverick
He's going to read it right.
used to leave his
Yeah.
cattle unbranded,
He goes
so
to
his
town on
cows
it, too.
became known as Mavericks. Today, a Maverick is someone who goes against tradition and does things their own way. I get that. Okay, this is a hazy
What's the
With-
O2?
Hazy 02, and it's a triple dry hopped hazy with Equinox Citra and Idaho 7. This beer is packed with tropical fruit, citrus, melon, and pine.
You
Get
can
ready
read that
for a
part.
bold and juicy IPA made from Mavericks. It is 7.6 ABV and 20 IBUs, which is not super hoppy.
How'd you pronounce where it's made though? We're trying to figure it out.
Unbranded Brewing Company.
In,
No, the place in Florida.
Florida.
Halia.
Hialeah
Hialeah.
or Hialeah or
Halia.
Hialeah?
Halia.
I don't know.
Halia.
oh, it's interesting. Florida.
Florida. Florida.
All right, I'm gonna give you guys the old spinaroo.
Smells good.
Effects?
What noise does the thing say when you send a picture over the radio?
I'll play a little bit of it. If you want, we
It's
can.
probably better than the internet.
No. I know you.
What's up, Leah?
Hiya, Leah.
Hi, Leah.
Gonna slam this one.
That's where the.
All right, let's drink some Mavericks.
Thank you.
These dank boys. These old danky
All right,
dankaroos.
let's take a picture and send it through the airwaves.
Oh, yeah?
This is exciting.
I don't know how we're gonna do this.
You gotta.
You got to do it.
We're gonna,
There you go.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
You got the long arms.
All right. That's it.
Yeah. They're gonna get this fucking psycho face that I'm doing.
No one's gonna get it.
John Singleton. Hi, Lee. Is how it sounds. Hi, Aaliyah.
Hi, Aaliyah.
Hi, Aaliyah. Thanks.
Yeah, we read that can earlier when you were gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they all heard it twice.
No,
It's
just
cool.
the one part though.
Yeah, we
Hi,
didn't
Aaliyah.
read, about the beer. We just read.
If the internet is spotty, guys, I apologize. Some reason today.
Oh, that's like dial up.
For a solid minute and a half.
I dig it.
But
I
that's
like it.
the-
Super vintage.
The RGB coming straight through.
Red, blue,
Oh,
green.
until the
Yeah.
entire thing transmits.
Oh yeah, it's line by line.
That's a mess.
Why have you not produced that into a song, my man?
I've thought about making it into a backtrack to see if like you could pick it up. You know what I'm saying? Like if you
Like a
this song's
subliminal
on,
message,
yeah.
like a literal subliminal.
Like somebody
Yeah.
could take pieces of it and make it into an image.
Well, just like like it's playing along with the song, but so low you can't hear it, but loud enough to still be able to pick it up and for this app to decode it.
Yeah, I think that would be great. Like if you were to put that into a song,
But-
right, and then enough for this to pick it
It
up.
could be like the
that people
album
could be
cover.
like hidden messages, and people could have like hidden images within the songs.
It
and
could
they
be
could
that.
pull
Yeah,
it
like
up.
20% off a cool place.
And so like now you can take this and phase it. And so this is how I got that one picture with the astronaut sitting cross-legged.
Yeah.
I did it regular
Use
and then
just the RBG.
Yeah. So like I think this is rad. This is rad because really it's different levels
Hi, Leah.
of our like.
Can you go send that later?
I can. Yeah.
I mean, I know you be doing that shit every day.
Not every day. I
People be
wish
like,
I
who
could
the
do it
fuck
every
is
day.
these guys, and what the
You
fuck
just
are
gotta
they
send
doing?
every day.
What
You
was
just
that
gotta send
awful
it.
noise we just
That'd be
heard?
I
badass.
thought it was great.
Somebody get the picture.
It's kind of like
It
a
was-
click
it was-
track for a
it was-
tempo.
It was
you know?
calming. I need 3 hours of that and put me to sleep.
Somebody in Arizona is gonna get that today and be like, "Who are these three ugly?"
But
motherfuckers?"
what's interesting is when you are spinning the dial on the radio, 14.230 is one of the main frequencies for SSTV, and like you hear that sound, and you just like if anybody just stumbled across it, they wouldn't even fucking know what it was. But if I got this app next to the radio, I'm downloading this picture off of the airwaves, and so sometimes because somebody in Albuquerque can't hear somebody in New York, there's multiple going at the same time.
I think there needs to be somebody who is a serial dick pic guy, and he does nothing but send dick pics over.
You will get found. They will triangulate your ass, and $10,000 for every day you transmit a dick pic.
I don't think that's.
So
I
how
don't.
much is
I
your
don't
dick
think.
pic really worth?
I don't think Ham has really got. I don't think there's really laws
You're
against
trying
that
to
right
show your
now.
There
ham on.
is.
Yeah,
There is.
There is.
You're trying to show
That's
your ham
why you
off
have
on
to take
ham?
the license. Yeah. Oh yeah. They'll
It
find
says something
your ass.
about sending explicit.
You can't
Oh,
really even
curse
cuss
words,
on.
everything,
You
yeah.
can't really cuss on the radio. If you cuss too much, they'll find your ass too. Like,
Well,
Watch
that's
your ass
lame.
now.
yeah, it
Then you
can
be
be.
showing your ham on the ham.
It can be weird. It can
Can
be,
you do like some that are like you can't triangulate it, and it's like just sent anonymously, like
Not
you bounce
really.
and bounce and bounce, and it.
Not really. Not really. Unless you did it from a remote location, which they can still find. Pretty much the only thing you can do is send it from a remote location that you have built everything you've built with gloves on.
With gloves.
Just so they won't get your fingerprints. And so they won't. if any camera in the vicinity saw you go there, and put that shit up, then you're fucked. So anything you get, trust me, I've thought about it.
There's about sending out dick pics.
No, I haven't.
My
man.
Dick pics to the world.
There's about
I'm just
five.
I'm just trying to let them see my dick in Arizona, man.
Yeah, I just want to spread the love.
No,
I mean,
I
look,
want to spread the
I'm-
love of radio that our country has been like. You know what? No, we're going to.
How many people can
We're
see
going
if you
to
find me
make you get a
once?
license and make you pay all this money to share music.
Back in the days, you probably had to, with ham, you probably didn't have to have all that, right? If you had it, you can just do it.
Yeah.
But you know, I think the license thing is good because then you got a CB scenario where nobody who knows the fuck what they're doing is getting
I don't
on
know
there.
what I don't know what you're talking about.
Me neither.
You had to use the bathroom.
Nobody who knows what the fuck they're talking about gets on there and just talks about random shit.
Oh,
What was that?
okay. That was a wreath that fell.
But you know, the people who are licensed get on there and talk about going to the doctor because they're 90 years old.
Yeah, like
There's an age limit, and
Yeah,
it's
like-
90 years old.
yeah, like do you want to talk about going to the doctor because you have hemorrhoids, or do you want to talk about, you know, do you want to accidentally get a dick pic, but it's, you know, it's
Oh.
Chad bro sending dick pics
I
over
have-
ham radio,
I
like
have sent some unmarked pictures, and they were of Breonna Taylor. It was when all that was going on.
I don't know who that is.
When she got shot in her sleep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Her birthday and her death date and her.
I thought you were talking about somebody like locally.
No, it was just a picture that I saw, and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna send that because I know people are gonna receive it, and I know they're not gonna know about it. But it's just another way, another platform of spreading awareness. And I didn't necessarily want to put my call sign on there. One reason, because with your call sign, people can look that up and figure out who you are. Anybody's call sign, you can look it up. Even this one here. But just people are just so fucking crazy these days. They're just like, they don't like something, so they're just gonna send you death threats or some shit. You know. So I try to avoid anything like that.
Send less death threats. Send more dick pics.
Well, some people can get death threats from dick pics. Like, don't send me one.
It depends on how threatening your dingus is. If it's not very threatening, then send away, because they're gonna be like, look at that cute little thing. Look at it. Look at it. It's not very threatening. Look at this little guy. He's not very threatening. Nobody's gonna send you death threats for this. They're just gonna be like, poor guy.
Yeah.
So if you got a little peepee, send it out. If you got ham radio, nickname it Dingus Radio, and start sending them dinguses out.
No, do not. I'm telling you, they will find your ass, and they will find your ass. I'm serious. That $10,000 a day ain't no joke. I like what I was thinking about is
Have you
local
been
music.
fined?
No, I have not. But local music. I've thought about like getting these little FM transmitters and setting them up in a high place and just like loading an MP3 player full of just local music and just trying to help people hear it.
But
But
they'll
it-
find the shit out of you?
Well, yeah.
So
I mean,
you're
it
not
depends
allowed?
on wattage. Even the radio station here could have more wattage. But it just depends. Like anything, the reach. They've got people, and I've met one person, and I was just like, whoa. Now I know these people exist. But these people go around. Their job from the FCC is to go around and place these meters in certain places around a transmitter and an antenna to figure out the field strength of how far an antenna is transmitting and how strong it is from certain points, certain feet away from the antenna. And if it's a certain strength over a certain distance, you're getting fined.
Is there anything that's completely like rebel fucking pirate radio that you can do whatever the fuck you want?
The CB is about the only thing, but you can still get fined for that.
With
They just
CB?
don't monitor it. Citizens ban, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really transmit music on ham radio. You damn sure can't transmit music. On CB, you can probably get away with
It
it.
sounds like it's taking away a lot of the fun, man.
In a way, it is, but in a way, it's like, you know, you guys
It's keeping the riffraff off?
Yeah, it really does. The test.
I mean, really, what
keeps
kind
it
of
alive.
riffraff are there? There's not going to be 90-year-old guys sending dick pics. There's
I
probably
mean,
like
there might be though.
there. Well, Viagra did get created, so you never know. But like, chances are, most 80% of the people who are on there are probably going to be older people, if
They
not
are.
90% of the people.
Yeah.
That's why Pete needs to be the trailblazer.
There are a lot of old people, but you know, in today's world, what can you do on the radio? Like transmitting a radio, you can listen all you want to, but actually doing things like send pics, send documents, like, but actually that being applicable in the world, because you got Wi-Fi, you got Bluetooth, like.
Oh,
you
there's
can do
there's
that shit on the
definitely
phone. you
better,
know?
like better and more efficient options.
So like, yeah, you can keep it alive, but you know,
To what cost? Like why?
yeah, the emergency services are keeping it alive and for what it needs to be used for. And I really think that amateur is just for, you know, experimentation. That's the whole ideology behind amateur radio. It's just being able to licensely experiment with radio. So, you know, actually, you can't make money off of amateur radio. Anything that you can come up with to do it.
Oh no, I don't make money off that either.
No.
That's I go in there and get on the air. I don't make money with it, but I enjoy it. So
Yeah.
for me, that's rewarding enough.
Yeah.
If somebody were like, "Hey, it's going to cost you $20 a week to go on the air," I would pay $20 a week to go on the air
Yeah.
because I get that much
What
fulfillment
time is
out
that
of
on
it.
Thursday?
I go on every Thursday from about 10 to about midnight. So I rely on one other person to like load in my music. So depending on what they're doing. So they also do trivia here. And the trivia depends on, it's supposed to go from 7 to 9. But if he gets here a little late, it goes from 8 to 10. So if he goes till 10, then I have to wait on him to get done with this thing to load in my music.
What time does it start on Thursday? 10?
My show?
Yeah.
It's supposed to start at 10.
Okay.
I'm supposed to be learning
So-
from him how to load in all my music, and then I won't be relying on him. I can
Watch
just
this
load
plug. If you're in the area, you can tune into 102.1, or on Thursdays between 10 and midnight, you can tune into Q102thequeenbee.com and stream it
it. Yeah, that's
from 10 to midnight on
Yeah.
Thursday.
I try to get a lot of people to either do that or I've actually been streaming on Twitch and Facebook. Sometimes I bring my laptop and this whole
as long as
setup.
they don't shut it off, right?
Yeah, sometimes they will shut off. And
Wow.
what they'll do
Y'all
is
listen to Brandon on Thursday.
they'll just mute it afterwards.
Yeah, and you
But
won't know.
somebody can listen to it in live stream.
Yeah.
And very rarely do they actually like shut it off during the live stream. They'll
Did they
just
ever
kind
give
of,
a reason?
it just says copyright. It says like 2 or 3 of your songs have been.
Because they're music copyright.
Yeah, I'm thinking. So Tara, who's a partial owner of, she is the queen bee. So much shit that falls.
Something like over there.
Is way off there probably. Tara told me that if I put down there that I don't own rights to any of these songs, that they won't do that. But
Yeah, like on Facebook. So there's a dude that I watch that goes live, and he does that. But he also has a thing through his playlist on YouTube. That's all he uses. He builds a playlist off YouTube every time he goes live.
Yeah.
But he uses something that barely changes the pitch.
so it doesn't, their algorithms or whatever doesn't grab
Yeah.
it.
There's another dude that does a Sunday night underground music review. Skeet. He's an engineer at Platinum, and I really like his show because they get music in from their email and they just play it, and then they just
Is radio?
no, it's not on the radio. They just stream it on YouTube and Facebook. But they just are sitting there. They'll listen to the whole song and review it, and they got people listening from all over. There's some people from Canada that sent a couple songs to get reviewed
Why you gotta point at me?
because you're affiliated with Canada. But I
I
think it's a
fucking
cool
like me
show.
some Canada, man.
Yeah.
Canada's the only place
Yeah.
I've ever been to that.
It depends where you are.
True. I was in Victoria, which is like
Right.
kind of.
Victoria's cool though.
You have to
Victoria's
be
cool.
kind of wealthy to be there. But when I was leaving the house, the guys that I was staying with, I met them in. Is a couple. I met them in Dublin, Ireland, And then I bumped into them again in Budapest, Hungary, like walking down the street. I was walking one way, they were walking the other, and we were like, holy shit, you know, what's up? I was in Naples, and they were like, hey, are you in Naples right now? I was like, yeah, how'd you know that? And they're like, we see you just logged into Facebook. We're in Naples too. So we hung out in Naples, we did Pompeii, we did Vesuvius, we hung out in Rome. So the couple
That's
times
cool.
that I went to Canada, I made sure I went to go see him. And they showed me Victoria, or just showed me, I went to Vancouver, and then eventually I took a ferry over. I usually go to Vancouver for a bit, and then I take a ferry over to Victoria. But I was leaving their house, and I was like, you want me to lock up? And they're like, please don't. And I was like, why? And they're like, wait, our keys are in the house, so don't lock the door. And I was like, why aren't you locking your door? And they're like, why would we? And I was like, you're not worried about people breaking into your house? And they're like, why would anybody do that?
Yeah, it's not now, like where I grew up,
People, like in Victoria,
Now we
people aren't
lock our doors.
People aren't locking their doors in Victoria. People aren't locking their cars.
Wow.
yeah, not now, but like you go to like Vancouver,
Oh yeah, I mean there's homeless and stuff outside.
lock your shit up. You go like where I'm at, Williams Lake is the largest city for within a 3-hour radius.
So
drive.
are you in the BC area? Were you in the BC area?
It was in BC.
It's like
I mean,
Calgary kind of.
So Calgary's Alberta.
So you're kind of like west.
About 5 hours from Calgary.
West.
Yeah,
Northwest?
in British Columbia. The Fraser River runs right through like where I grew up. Big valley. It's right in between Prince George and Kamloops, or Quesnel and Kamloops type.
How long's it
we're
been since you were over there?
right above wine country, but below the Arctic Circle.
How long's it been since you were over there?
Oh shit! To end like just to Canada in general, since before I started my job. So the last time I was there, I was like right when I turned 18. I went for a summer, spent like 4 months, 3 months working with my uncle, and then
When was the last time you lived in Canada?
I was 14 years old. Yeah, we moved from Manitoba to Alabama.
So you haven't actually been there as like an adult other than 18.
I
for
bet
a couple
I was
months.
18 years old. Yeah, I was there for about 4 months.
That's some culture
How old
shock
are you
right
now?
there.
28.
Oh, it's been a hot ass minute.
Yeah,
It's about
been a
time,
while.
right?
Yeah, my grandma, I love you, grandma. She
Gam
made
Gam.
me promise.
We love you, Gam Gam.
She made me promise that I get my American passport so I could go back, and
Why would you ever want to leave Canada?
so I'll go back.
You're working on it.
Yeah.
How's that Canada anthem go? Oh, Canada.
Yeah, something
This is your life. How do you not know it? What's up?
No, I know the anthem.
you
I'm
know
not
it.
gonna sing it.
Come on, man.
He's
No,
American
come on.
now. That would be treason.
So when I got my citizenship, this is the funniest shit ever. Right after you get sworn in, they hand out these little flags, and you have to listen and watch either the lyric video or the official music video off of YouTube to Lee Greenwood's "Proud to Be an American."
Proud
And
to
we all have
be
to wave.
American.
Y'all gotta wave them fucking flag. They make everybody stand up that's being sworn. So when I got sworn in, there was
It's probably
people
corny
from-
as fuck.
Oh, we were in everybody. It was like 200 people from over 64 countries.
Wow.
I swear to God. And when they yelled Mexico, 47 of them motherfuckers said, "Ow!"
Wow.
It was great. It was a
Hey,
cool
they
experience.
went about it the legit way.
There was like 3 Canadians. We all stood up. You know, we're all very standoffish, and we just and we sat down. But it was cool. It was like from 64 different countries, and we sang the most terrible version of that song you ever heard. 'Cause
Proud to
it's
be
in-
American?
Yeah, it's in 64 different dialects.
Oh,
It's
man.
great, dude. It was awesome. It was a cool. But the thing about it is, it was just such a cool experience. You know, we were all there together.
That
and we all-
most Americans never come across. That they never
No.
encounter.
Oh, when you get interviewed to become a citizen, like when I had to go, so I started my stuff in Chicago with work,
Chicago.
and I had already moved down. I had transferred down here, but I had to fly back to Chicago to do my official interview with Homeland Security. and they ask you questions of like America's history.
Hmm.
And you have to. It's over 200 questions they could ask you. And
What's
they
weird
ask
though
you,
is that most of the world knows more about U.S. history than we do.
Absolutely.
yeah, and you have to know. Out of those 200 questions, they can ask you like 20, or something like that. You got to answer like 9 out of 10, or 19 or 18 out of 20 right.
Kind of like your CB. You said that it's 300
It's
questions.
crazy,
and you
yeah.
have to know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you don't know which ones they're going to put on there.
It's nuts. And the guy I had, he just went down the list and he was just like the most random stuff. And I think I missed one question. That was it.
He's like, damn, you're fucking American as hell.
More Americanized.
He hands you a fucking koozie. He hands you a fucking Bud Light.
He was cool.
He said, welcome to the country.
I don't know. I feel like he kind of did me a solid. He was Jewish, like had the yarmulke and everything. And one of the guys that I worked with up in Chicago, he obviously still is. Shout out Josh Paston.
Shout out Josh passing you.
Yeah, super
that dude,
traveler.
that fucking dude,
Hey,
Josh.
he follows Banksy, the street artist. He follows all of his projects. He's big into Banksy. That's a guy that kind of brought me into art. But he's Jewish, right? And that's where I feel like I kind of had a leg up, because I got in there and I just got bullshitting with the dude, because I can talk to almost anybody except Michael. But yeah, so like I told him I got to experience Passover and all that. So yeah, I feel like he kind of took it easy.
Yeah, you're like, oh, Passover, you're all right.
Yeah,
You're all right. You're
yeah.
Canadian too. Come on.
Yeah, and then the question's like, where was JFK at when he got shot? I'm just kidding.
know that
He had to know like dates and years
know
and
that
all
fucking
sorts
shit.
of stuff.
It's wild. Like as I traveled, I met so many people, and they knew so much more about my country than I did, or
Yeah.
than the average American knows. It's really weird. Like we're really just concerned on ourselves, and even still, it's at a very like minuscule amount. Like Europeans, Canadians, well, most of the world knows more U.S. history than we do, and then outside of that, like world history, we're just abysmal. Our education system is just trash.
We just care about how great we are.
Yeah, we still
If you
haven't
ain't got those
chosen
new-
to,
new
adapt
Jordans.
to the
Yeah.
metric system. So
If we ain't got those new J's on, you ain't got those, if you ain't got those Yeezys or them J's or whatever it is that's popular right now, you ain't shit. And everybody's just putting value in monetary things. It's just crazy to see these people that they go out and interview, like average Americans, on basic information. They're like, there's this guy,
Yeah, the guy
John
on the
F. Kennedy,
street,
who's applying for presidency. What do you think about that? And they're like, I heard he's a pretty cool guy. And they're like,
I seen him
I
at
really
Kroger.
they're like,
know
what
a
do you think
goddamn
about
thing
the
about
recent assassination of John F. Kennedy? And they're like, oh, it's a horrible thing. He was a good guy. I'm sad that he passed away, or that did he pass away?
Wasn't there a knoll? There was a knoll. Somebody.
Grassy. Something about grass.
Like
Grass.
there's just
Some guy was
it's
in the grass when he got him.
crazy that our IQ level in the States is just dwindling so bad.
Yeah.
When you go to places like when I was in Norway, and compare it to a U.S. bus or U.S. train station, when everybody's like this, they're just kind of getting it and on their phone. And then when I was in Norway, girls are knitting, on the train, or most of Europe, people are just kind of sitting there and reading books, and like people are just so much smarter. Like it's just insane for me to think about it, and just think about our education system and
just
how
how
it's
much more
flawed.
information they pay attention to about everything. It's crazy.
Like just find an average American, like out of 100 Americans, probably 5% of them have read a book within the last year or two.
Yeah.
Like front to back, read a book. Or have any kind of skill, really. Like, a lot of these people who are like influencers on Instagram and stuff, they have no actual real talent. No actual real talent. They're just people who look good in front of the camera, but they're not skilled in anything. They're not painters. They're not musicians. They're not artists of any kind. They're not builders, they're not architects or archaeologists, or they're not anybody with any skill.
But then all of a sudden they're trying to fight Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, like
Shout out Jake Paul at Riley Anderson Music, Facebook and Instagram.
What was your passport interview
Didn't Jake
like?
Paul was fighting him?
I didn't really have a passport interview. So what I did is I went down to our local, the one on Slappy. I went to the post office. You get this paperwork. There's an actual
It's like a
office.
little pamphlet.
You get that. You fill it out and you go in there and you supply all the information that is required. It lists everything you need. You're going to need some pictures taken.
Are you
So I
allowed
went
to
to like,
smile?
huh?
Are you allowed to smile?
I don't know.
So Canadian passport, can't smile.
I think they suggest you don't.
Yeah.
I just went to GNC and I was just like, I just took a regular picture and
At GNC in the mall?
no, not GNC.
Walgreens? I went to Walgreens.
CVS.
CVS.
CVS is one of the others.
Man.
3-letter abbreviations.
Don't keep
So
powder and cough syrup, baby.
it cost me like $18. I got my pictures. I brought all the information in, and then bada boom, bada bing. I chose what I wanted, so I chose both an actual passport and a passport card. So if I went to like a hostel, and some hostels require you to give them your passport, and they'll keep it on location just in case something happens. So I'd give them my passport card and keep my actual passport on me. I took
Yeah.
pictures of it, sent it to my mom of all the information that's important. So if anything gets stolen, then
Shout out, Mom.
Shout out to mom.
Shout out, Mom.
She's sleeping. But I took pictures of everything, bank accounts and all that, and sent it to people that I felt it was safe with, just in case all shit goes to hell. I have access to some of it somehow. Whether if
Or
my
at least evidence that that was what it was.
Yeah.
So if my phone gets stolen, I can go to an internet cafe and I can log in and get any of that information. You know,
Yeah.
I can go to a consulate, or I can go to an embassy or something like that, and apply for. I could have information on hand.
Yeah.
But yeah, Americans be dumb. Be real dumb.
Yeah. My passport interview was sort of like, I don't know. It was like they really asked the questions. Like they were like, it was almost like, why do you want to leave America? Like,
Did you have to get a passport when, like, throughout all the?
My passport's about to be expired.
what do you mean? What is that?
You
What
know,
is that?
like,
What is that?
You know the fucking
The stuff. I don't know the gang sign for it.
Fucking
Y'all
thing.
throw gang signs, but
No, I don't know.
for
Like you're fucking doing signs in Naruto.
God's gang,
biker gang.
God's gang.
I was fucking doing Naruto symbols.
In the biker gang, you had to get a passport for
A
that,
biker?
right?
What the fuck?
But you said you didn't even have to ride a bike.
Oh no, I never did ride a bike. I went to. They sent me to Fiji for my Mormon missionary experience. So I lived there for 2 years, and I never had the real Mormon experience because I was in Fiji.
But you had to wear the secret.
That sounds
underwear.
awesome though.
It
Being
really,
in Fiji.
it's completely different than what you would think.
Yeah,
like
he had to wear secret underwear the whole time he was hanging out.
I did, and I also had to wear a man skirt called Sulu.
Speaking of missionary work, I had a dream one time.
Was it the same kind of missionary work?
So I had a dream one time. So my grandfather is a pastor. He owns the rescue mission in town. They anybody who's homeless or like drug addict or whatever, they can go and get food and they can have a place to sleep and they have to listen to a sermon and he's a Baptist and yada yada, whatever. So my grandma's a preacher's wife, and I had a dream that they got a message, kind of like those African prince wants to send you money kind of deal, like spammy deals. And my grandmother saw something about a house in a small town in Italy that they could buy for super cheap and spread the word of Jesus through like Baptist like kind of ideology through this small town in Italy. So they're like, yes, this is God talking to us. We have to go. So this is my dream, of course. And
When did this dream happen?
so anyways, my grandparents go off to Italy and they buy this house and they're going to spread the Baptist word of Jesus through this small town in Italy. Only thing is they don't speak Italian, and this house used to be a brothel. It was a brothel, like a very well-known Italian brothel, and so pretty much everything in this place has had human liquids on it.
This would be a great movie.
I said it would be a show. I was thinking in my head because I woke up laughing about it, but I made a joke. I made a joke to my grandmother or grandfather, I don't remember, about pretty much everything. Like there's things that are multi-purpose, like tables that lift up into like comfortable seats, and there's things that you open up and there's like, and they're like, oh shit, and they close it. Like,
This is not the house we thought it was.
so it's like my grandmother like trying to talk to people, and she's like, hey, how y'all doing? She's like super southern, trying to talk to people and getting stuff done in Italy. People coming to the door thinking it's a brothel, and she's trying to talk to them about the word of God, and there's like a communication barrier.
So they're just like, yeah, here's my.
So they're trying to
$40.
fuck, and my grandma's trying to talk to them about God. So I woke up laughing about it, and I came up with the name missionary work
Yeah,
about my, so I was like, man, this would be a fucking
that
great show.
would be hilarious. Nobody take that shit.
I said it on 3 episodes by
That's
now.
copyright infringement at this point.
I said it on 3 episodes. You can't take it now. I have them all recorded.
Yeah, that's awesome. That'd be hilarious.
It's just 2 Southern Baptist people trying to spread the word of God in an Italian,
Yeah.
small Italian town where everybody that does come
Navigate
there is
like
just
a-
coming there to get their dick wet.
The funniest part would be like trying to navigate through like a translation book, but then like they're in an area where it's a specific dialect.
Yeah, and they're like,
Makes it even worse.
they're like Bergierno, and they're like, do they like? They're trying to.
Jesus.
And you see what she's saying, basically, like they'll have translations, and you'll see what basically with her loose Southern accent translation of Italian and his Italian on
Yeah.
there. And there's like,
Oh,
he's
that'd be
like,
funny.
I'm here for the puss puss, and she's like, her translation, she looks up puss puss is like almost like God or something. Like there's
Oh yeah, we love him
communication.
here.
There's like a communication
Plenty of that right
error.
here.
Yeah. You don't have to pay for that.
Yeah, he's saying something about labia, and she's saying something about like somehow the translations work out.
You ain't got to pay for that here. It's free. It's all love.
Oh,
So
man.
this guy's coming in with like a massive boner, like
Yeah.
and my grandma's like, holy shit. Like, I think it would be an amazing show.
Oh, that'd be
Maybe
good.
only for 1 season.
That'd be
There's a
funny.
show that's similar called, well, not quite similar, but it was on Netflix or Hulu or one of those, Amazon Prime. If you like beer, you'll enjoy it. It's called Bruise Brothers.
I've seen it.
Have you seen all of
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Where the Belgian
He comes
Trappist
and-
monks
and
come
then
in there.
His brother comes back and
His brother pisses in the beer. So they're having like an IPA contest. His brother pisses in his beer, and then the
Oh my
distributor ends up liking his beer with the piss in it better. Speaking of that, right?
Yes, exactly.
So it was a great episode, or a great show.
we'll split that one because he don't like IPAs.
He gonna drink this IPA.
He won't though. He'll hold his breath.
He has already. So this one is Kolahazi, Kalahaza IPA. It's Chinook, El Dorado, Cascades, Citra, Huel, Melon, and Centennial. Brewed and canned in Highland, North Carolina by Satula Mountain Brewing Company. 7%. Bless you. Guess that was a sneeze. I hold mine in too, man. People are like, you're gonna die.
Yeah, eventually I'll have an aneurysm.
People are gonna like, you're gonna die. But honestly, I've been sick like twice in my life, and I think it's because of my sneezes.
Yeah.
You get sick often?
No. I've got a really good immune system.
It's probably because your sneezes, man.
I think it's because I'm Canadian, honestly. No,
God's
I'm being
blessed.
serious. I don't know
God's
what it is.
blessed Canada.
I've got a good immune system. No.
So it's basically a show about two brothers, and one of the brothers has a brewery already. The other brother,
to him, and he'll put it on.
the other brother has been
Free labor. Yeah, you gotta give him the spin. Give him the spin, Mikey.
the slow turn. Ooh,
Uh
ooh,
oh.
ooh.
Uh oh.
Oh yeah, we should be we should be good. I've looked at actually buying a rotating display.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I actually talked Jake into making one. So I would buy the actual mechanical display, the motor.
Yeah.
And then he would basically build the mount around it. Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Something we're gonna do when I move to Nashville.
That'd be cool.
So is
So-
this a double dry hop? What's it called?
Kahala hazy
Kalahazaa.
Kalahazaa
We don't
IPA.
know. Where's it from?
Alcohol.
Alcohol. It's an IPA that has a shit ton of IPA or ton of hops. And it's from Sotola Mountain.
Not bad. Not bad.
But no, so it's one brother he's kind of like a prude as far as beer goes, and he only likes the nicest of nice beer.
Like super snob.
Yeah, super snob. And he was in
Super
Oregon. He was in Portland. And he actually got kicked out of the whole fucking state because he was talking about how IPAs are kind of like, he was talking shit about IPAs at a big brewing convention. And they weren't wanting to listen to him. So he put some LSD in his beer. And they were all just tripping balls, everybody who drank his beer, and he was just laughing and enjoying it. And yeah, so he's been banned from the whole state. And he goes and starts working with his brother who owns, is it Hardman's?
I can't remember
It's
the name
Hardman's
of it.
Brewery. It's a lot of like sexual innuendos for the beer names.
Yeah,
And
it's funny.
They have a competition to see which IPA the distributor will like better.
But so that guy worked. He came up in a Belgian monastery.
The one who owns the place, the brother who owns the place, not the one that got kicked out of.
Right. But then of course they got like flunkies at work at the motherfucker, falling asleep and shit.
Yeah, and so they both brew up IPAs, and one of the brothers pisses in the other brother's IPA, and the distributor ends up liking that beer better. He's like, "This is amazing. I want like 50 barrels of this." So he tries recreating it, and it doesn't taste the same. So he has to like go back in time, not literally, but he has to think about everything he ate and did to create his piss at that level. It's a ridiculous show.
Oh, it's
There's some
it's
neighbors in the building next door who have a sex shop. It's like a premium sex shop that celebrities and everybody goes to get their toys. There's a guy who's like, "Oh, I sell the best premium." He makes some kind of like funky. He's like the Van Gogh of fucking dildos, and he creates this like hollow glass dildo that.
Hollow glass.
Hollow
dildo?
glass dildo. It's like thick glass, but it's hollow in the middle.
It's
Basic.
It's perfect for my Jesus. I want to take a little baby Jesus, not baby Jesus, a small Jesus figurine,
I'm wondering where this is going, man.
and put it inside of a dildo.
You would need a mold,
Yeah.
and then you would need lots of resin. You would
Yeah.
make it into a resin Jesus dildo, baby Jesus dildo.
Just so everyone that thinks that they can cram it down my throat I can give one to them.
Yeah, they'll love it. So, yeah,
There you go.
they're talking about a beer that they want to make, and it's called a Belgian Quad. It's a style of beer, and they kept talking about quad. They're at a bar, and they're talking about the Belgian Quad. And there's a guy that comes by, scoots by on the wheelchair, and he's like, "How fucking dare you talk about?" He thinks he's like talking about him being like a quadriplegic. he gets super offended, and they end up getting kicked out for they get kicked out of the bar because everybody thinks that they're being basically pieces of shit. They're just talking about a Belgian Quad. They're getting ready to put out their new beer, and it is the Belgian Quad. And they go to the canning place where they buy massive amounts of cans to can up this Belgian quad. And the guy who's going to sell them the cans is the quadriplegic guy.
The distributor.
So he was like, no, look. This is what a Belgian quad is. This is what our beer is. We were not talking shit. He's like, all right, you're cool. And then they said, okay, we want to bottle up this, or we want to can up this beer, and we want to can up this other beer too. And whatever that beer name was is, I guess, a name for people who have like one hand or maybe one limb. I don't remember what it was
It
called.
was some sort of hook thing or whatever, and the dude had the little pinchers. He was like, hey, you fucking asshole.
So they get kicked out of there, and they can't get any cans. So they talk to the guy next door who, he's very upset. He goes to the brewery, and he's drinking his woes away. And he's like, this beer is very good, And he's like, I'm so sad. They're like, why are you drinking so much? He's like, I'm so sad. I have these hollow dildos, and I cannot sell them. They will not buy them because they are dangerous. And they look at him, and they're like, done. So they buy all this guy's hollow dildos, and since they can't get cans, they put their beer
That's funny as
in
fuck.
these hollow dildos, and they make dildo bottles. And one of the guys, who's like one of their henchmen or lackeys, he's a guy who helps out, the Hispanic guy.
Yeah, Pedro.
He's like, no, I'll get my friends to help out.
His name's literally Pedro.
And it was little fucking kids from his soccer team. So it's little kids who were bottling up, like fucking 10-year-olds who are bottling up beer into a glass dildo. And they're having fun, like spraying each other with these. You're just watching the show like, oh my God.
It's funny. It's definitely a good show.
It's Bruise Brothers. Or
Yeah,
Bruise Bros.
The comedy is very in your face.
If you like The Office, if you like It's Always Sunny, if you like what's the other one? Workaholics, you'll enjoy
Yeah,
it.
it's good stuff. It's just very punchline-y, but it's quirky shit.
And I talked to the brewers, and I was like, from a brewer's point of view, because I like getting people's who are professionals in their area to talk about how mainstream or how media represents them. And I was like, how do you think that they represented brewers? And they're like, they were actually pretty spot on. Like, obviously there's a lot of silliness to it, but the people who made the show know what the fuck they're talking about.
Well, even when they show any sort of maintenance, it's all
kind of like how I asked you about things like Stranger Things, or there was a show about or a movie about like signals coming in from like outer space, and they were having these massive like various radios and like getting signals from all over the place, whether it was boops and beeps to actual voices. Or last time I was in Vegas, I was talking to a girl from South Africa, and I was like, how do you view like white people in South Africa, because they are actually not the people who were native to that area, and what do you think about Diantwoord, the band that's really famous, the two white people? And I always like try to ask people, like I mentioned before, the Mongolian guy, like, how do you feel that Genghis Khan or Chinggis Khan is represented in media, or the Mongolians are represented in media? Met a Hawaiian girl. What do you feel about things like Moana, and what do you think about Dog the Bounty Hunter, and these people who were like portraying like Hawaii,
this is where they're
or
from,
like
yeah.
I always like to ask these questions just to get from a local or somebody who their country or whatever they're into is very close to their heart, and how it's represented in media.
What did the girl say about Moana?
She said that was actually pretty accurate. Like, they did a really good job of representing the face and representing like locations, and they were pretty spot on. She was like, maybe not so much like Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Oh yeah.
But Dog is like, he's lived in Miami forever, or not Miami, but he's lived in like Hawaii forever. Like, he's well known there. Like, one of his first locations was there. My ex was a huge fan of the show, so I kind of had to fucking sit through it. So I kind of enjoyed it after a while, because they were like, you're a piece of shit, God fucking hates you. And then they'd be like, here, have a cigarette, God loves you. Like, then they're saying,
get on the ground, motherfucker. You want a
you
cigarette?
piece of
You
shit,
want me to light it
motherfucker,
for
Jesus
you?
loves you. Here's a cigarette.
You want me to light it for you?
The thing I
with
like
his Oakleys with the headphones in his ears.
The thing I like the most about Moana is that It's not just Hawaii culture. It represents
It's like
South
Polynesia.
Pacific
Yeah.
in general. And they really did that by using the Tokelauan band that did all their music. That band, Tivaka, is a pretty well known band in the South Pacific for their generalization of Polynesian culture.
Yeah.
And just their harmonies, their vocals, like even though it's in a different language, it sounds like almost every Polynesian culture could sing a song like that.
Yeah.
Like from
It's not
Tonga to
exclusive to
Samoa to
anything.
Fiji.
It almost includes all of them without being inclusive.
And the ideology of Maui himself is spread around those cultures. So it's not just one island that has that ideology. Maui, the legend of Maui is shared between pretty much all of those cultures.
Yeah. It's anytime I meet somebody who is from a different country, I like to ask them these kind of questions, which it seems like it's very annoying questions. You know, if I find a Russian, you know, I ask, because I have a good bit of Russian friends. When I first meet them, I ask them these kind of questions, like, how do you feel that media has represented you? How do you feel about these movies or these characters? Or, you know, because as far as Americans go, that is like that's what we associate. You know, when we think about Russians, we think about like bad guys. We think about Russian drug syndicates. We think about hackers. You said
Yeah.
Yeah, from Russia.
hackers. We think about like what's his name, Drago or whatever, and like Rocky IV. We think about these very stern, like in Russia. You know, you
Weed, bread, and cat.
you eat bear not eat you. Like these kind of phrases, and you know, we hear like Mother Russia, and like when I talk to Russians, they're like, I don't know what this fucking phrase is, and that's not a thing.
Yeah.
Like maybe it was like, you know, in the 30s or 40s or something, but like in actual Russia, no. And then I was like, would I be able to walk around in Russia if I had like culturally significant clothes? Like if I looked like everybody else, would I be able to blend in? And she's like, no. And I was like, why? And they're, well, that's actually not just her, it was multiple Russians. They're like, you smile too much. Americans smile too much. They're too nice. Like, why? What's so funny? Why do you always need to smile?
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, that's you know, that's fair. You know, I talked about Anastasia. I talked about, you know, Rasputin. Like that's kind of like things that Americans know, which I don't know. Like media has a great way of like being there maybe when like in areas maybe that our parents weren't, or like TV in a lot of ways were our upbringing. So a lot of our misconceptions about things of the world were brought about from media, whether it's TV or radio or you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So I always think it's interesting when I meet people who are like actually from these countries, who that's who they relate to ask them these questions to kind of break my mold of how I view things. I like to get these other perceptions or perspectives.
That's really the only way to do it. Because, like you said, you know, in place of our parents being able to teach us things that they didn't even know, our government being able to teach us things that they don't want us to know, we get this Disney version of Anastasia.
I mean, we have a flawed fucking education system. Severely flawed.
Yeah.
Like, we're seeing it now, but in 100 years, we're gonna see it bad. We're gonna see it really bad. I mean, I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, but
No, unless we figure out a way to, you know, really educate and not just, okay, everyone needs these similar skills. Like I was talking to a friend of mine today, like we don't figure out how people learn. We just put people in a room and say, this is what you need to learn to progress.
yeah, you
Like,
find
there's
ways to like
visuals.
retain things
Yeah.
and like maintain it, get invested and get interested.
Yeah.
When you look at most of the doctors in town or most of the doctors in the world, like we have a lot of like non-American doctors. We have a lot of Indian doctors, a lot
We
of
do.
like we've got a lot of doctors. We've got a lot of Asian doctors. We've got, which I guess India is part of that. It's part of Asia, but you get what I'm saying. Like, there's a work ethic. There's a like school ethics. There's stuff that they're taught that we're not. I feel, I know we've kind of deviated on a beer, but I feel that the States are really going to be struggling to really keep up. We've kind of always been, or at least we're taught that we've always been one of the main powerhouses. But as far as like the average IQ and intellect of an average American is definitely like leagues beyond.
Yeah. It's
most.
embarrassing.
It is quite embarrassing, especially when you travel out and you meet people from other countries and you're like, Jesus, why are you so smart? Why do you know so many languages? Why are you good at so many things? Why are you
like someone who knows 5 languages is just like eons away from the average American.
Yeah.
Like
And when I talked to my Dutch friend who she speaks multiple language, she's like, but you speak American. Why do you need to speak anything else? Or you speak English. Why do you need to speak anything else? And I was like, but you speak like what is Flemish? You speak, like the Dutch version of basically German. You speak German. You speak multiple languages. Like, that's super cool. You've traveled. All these places are so close to you that you've been around it, and you're culturally diverse, especially more than the average fucking American who. You've got people in Albany who the farthest they've ever fucking been is Atlanta or maybe Colquitt. Yeah. They've gone to PC with their friends and got, high and drunk off Natty Lights. Like, the average American intellect versus most of the world is, and it's just going to get worse, man. Yeah. Our education system, we need a revamp. We need a fucking crazy revamp.
Something.
It's going to be, 10 years from now that most of our doctors are going to be foreigners. Like, if they're more capable, fucking put them in the position. Yeah. If you're like, oh, I want to hire only Americans, I want to hire this guy that's, not as capable as this fucking guy. Like, this guy's much more capable because, fucking put him there. He's going to do the job better. This is a crazy tangent we've gone on. It's mostly me. I apologize.
No, I'm definitely paranoid. Doomsday kind of.
I told you I can bring you a fucking chair, man.
Anti-government, whatever.
I'm definitely not anti-government. Like, to an extent I am, and to an extent I'm not. But I think that the average American's intellect versus the rest of the world is we're in a rough spot.
I just think that we didn't get here where we're at and where we're headed, where we're going, based off of our will. Like, I feel like, well, in a way we did, because the average American wants people to tell them what to do, and just go ahead and do it in obedience, But in a way, like, I feel like there's so much progression that we could have that we're just not working together towards. But like, it's just easier to sit back and listen to the leaders.
I just think there's a lot of stuff that is common sense for other people around the world that for a normal American, like going into a hostel, and this is pretty much most of Europe that I went through, 20 plus different countries, that the average European could cook up a meal, could take things and just make something out of it. We're in a video? What's up?
Too late.
Sorry.
So most Europeans could take random things. They could take some cheese and some veggies and some pasta and they could make something up.
Yeah.
They could sew, they could read, they read books, they iron, these things that are basic and were basic, 30 years ago, everybody to do are now kind of gone. And, you'll find, if I grabbed just, I don't know, 100 people who are 21 years old in Albany, Georgia, probably 15 to 20 of them could actually make a decent meal.
Yeah.
Probably 2 of them to maybe 3 of them could actually sew, knit, or do any kind of thing like that. Chances are maybe 3 or 4 of them could actually speak a different language. Maybe 4 of them have read a book within the year, like out, you know, at 21 have read a book within the year. And I don't know, man, it's just these kind of things, like it's like people's priorities and what their core values are have kind of shifted. Like these monetary things, like having the best wardrobe or looking the best or the best Instagram post, or like, I don't know, it's things have kind of shifted a bit.
Yeah, it's all about like your image, or how you
people care
how you want to
portray yourself.
How you want people to see you.
People care more about how like others view them than,
I'm just saying.
I don't know. It's kind of just a total like move away from like core values.
And there's a lot of fakeness that comes with that.
Oh yeah. They feel like, okay, so this person and this person and this person have this, and if I don't have this, I'm not on their level, whether I care about that or not. It's just people fitting molds that they feel like they need to be a normal, like a cog in the fucking wheel. Yeah, you can trash it if you want to. I took a picture of it, so it's archived.
My whole thing is about breaking molds, though, because like molds.
No, I think that's great.
Molds are like, you know, I don't know. You know, you can just reproduce so many like minds that way, but at the same time, like, there has to be a break in the mold. Like, a mold can only last so long, and when you fill it and heat it and it cools and it just, you've got to make another mold. And so there's a process of making this mold and then making that mold, and they're not all the same, and then it's just like the whole system breaks down. But being able to break out of those molds, like you know, you get to see different perspectives, and you get to see like, okay, this is how this culture sees this thing that we have led ourselves to believe, and then the opposite, like, you know, with Moana and then Russian hackers. It's just like this scale of like, what are we being taught and what can I believe? And so I think a lot of that breaking out of the mold is just seeing another perspective, being able to see another perspective.
Yeah, and honestly, like, in a small town like Albany, a person, you know, that fit the categories that I was mentioning earlier, that felt like they had to do this or this or this to fit in. You know, they had to have this truck and they had to talk to this girl or whatever. These, like, social norms. You know, like, in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to change much. Chances are their parents did something similar. And it's like, in reality, probably 80% of people aren't really going to amount to anything in life. Like, they're just a cog to kind of like, if this person didn't do this and this person couldn't do this and this, like, it's all part of the bigger machine. I don't know. It's just, I've never subscribed to that. I've never been that like monetary. Like, I've never felt like, maybe it's because I was poor. Like, I never had those things. So I don't know. I get to see this from another side.
I'm very similar in that sense, that money does not drive me.
Money's not, like, I'm an experienced guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I love a job, I will work it for free for a limited time, you know, based off of survival. But the experience itself is more meaningful to me than the money on many different things.
Yeah, and I'll honestly, like, since I value money down here and I value experiences here, I will spend money to get experiences. So if you were like, I don't know, like, I had an offer recently, and I still might take it up. Once I move out to Nashville, I might take it up. But I'll get a job in Death Valley, and I'll live basically off the grid. I'll live in a resort that is an hour in each direction from the nearest town. I'll get paid California minimum wage, which I think is like $14 an hour. I'm a waiter. I don't pay for food. I don't pay for rent or utilities. I'm gonna be in Death Valley, which is fucking stupid beautiful. I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys have ever been there. Like,
No, I've never been, but I've
have you
seen
seen the first Star Wars, A New Hope?
I haven't.
No, you never seen Star Wars?
I'm a Trekkie.
Huh?
I'm a Trekkie.
Still, Star Wars, man.
I probably have seen it, but I just don't.
So
I
it's,
didn't categorize it.
So Death Valley is very vast, you know. Like on the outskirts of it, you got the Sierra Mountains, you got the sequoias within range, you got Badlands, which is the lowest. It's like salt flats, it's one of the lowest elevations in the states. You got the Sierra Mountains, which is one of the highest outside of Denali. There's canyons and dunes and deserts. It's beautiful. Like, since I'm an hour from the nearest town in any direction, the light pollution is really low. So if you want to do astrophotography, or if you just want to go outside and look, you see full Milky Way. You don't, there's, you know, those photos you see of the Milky Way, you see that with your eyes. It's just stars as far as you can see because of light pollution. There's no towns by to block it out. We see towns as they would have been 200 years ago.
Yeah.
Or pretty much everybody would have seen 200 years ago. That sounds like a good option. I would be able to save money, and yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm choosing experiences over money. And I kind of will choose that always, experiences over money. Like, every time I go out to Europe, I'm still paying rent and utilities and bills here and stuff over there because that's just more valuable to me. Instead of buying like a $2,000 phone or a $1,500 phone, I can be in Europe for a month and a half for that price. People are like, how do you do what you do? And I was like, I don't buy dumb shit.
Yeah, definitely more worth it.
They're like, oh, I wish I could do what you do. And I was like, well, you started having kids at fucking 16 years old, so you can still do it, but, you know, you might have to pawn them off on Gam and go off on small trips, but it's doable. That's definitely not, I'm not saying you can't do it. It's definitely doable. You might have to just pawn them off on your baby daddy or your Gam or your mom. Do small 1 week, 2 week, 3 week trips. But that's kind of what I did. I didn't really put a lot into buying things. Like, I was wanting somewhat of a minimalistic life. Like, the less things I had, the less things I have to worry about. And I wanted more experiences over like monetary gain.
Yeah.
So my friends were really worried about their 401k, which is, you know, an honest thing. I get it.
Yeah.
That I was like, you know, they're making $100,000 a year, and I'm like, cool. I'm like, I don't care about money like that. I really, you know, I was in Croatia and Hungary and Italy, and, you know, I
got to experience
I was
more.
in North Africa, and like, I want to see everything. I want to see it like for real. I don't want to just go there for 1 day or 2 days. I want to really dive into it, see it, meet people, make friends, and ask them these questions about, like I was asking you guys earlier, about misconceptions in media, you know, how maybe like Moroccans are conveyed, or like Italians, or, you know.
Yeah.
I love like the psychological aspect of it. Anyways, we've gotten long deviation from the beer. I apologize. That does happen sometimes with beer. This was a solid one. It was a hazy. I showed you guys the can a second ago. It's Kalahaza IPA. So if I'm to bring back all these beers, what is the most dankest?
Dankest?
Not the dankest. What's the best?
I have to say the raspberry
I don't know,
blackberry.
that was good. And then that astronaut juice.
Not that one.
Yeah, not that habanero.
So we had a lot of IPAs today.
Yeah, like all of them.
So that was IPA. This was a wheat, so way different. IPA sour. That's way the fuck down here. IPA, Oktoberfest. Wheat's getting a little closer to the sour range.
That big nasty bottle that you put in the trash is where it belongs.
That one wasn't bad either.
IPA.
Just because you drink it all doesn't mean
I would go like.
doesn't mean anything.
Like I
I've
said,
seen you drink. I've seen you drink.
I'm thinking this one was the best of the night, but that's just me being very fond of sours.
I agree. I completely
If there was
agree.
some great ambers or some stouts tonight, I would have been about that, and it might have thrown a wrench in the whole thing. But this is Berliner Weiss ale with raspberry and blackberry, and it was super solid. Tantrum Brewing Company, and
Columbus, Georgia, right? Or Cleveland, Georgia.
Cleveland, Georgia.
Yeah, Cleveland.
Cleveland, Georgia.
Yeah, next time we're just gonna have to do like a sour beer shootout.
I'm
Dude, I'm here
with
for
sour
that.
beer.
Yeah.
I'm
I
down.
want some super tarts,
Yeah.
like this 53 footer we have on right now,
Yeah.
super tart. Have you had that one before?
I haven't.
Have you had any of our beer before?
Yeah, I had the Skywater, the Stout, the Goza, the Berry Goza.
Do you like sours?
That's my favorite.
He's like he's like a rum ham guy.
A rum ham.
You don't get that rum ham. Don't put that on him.
Nah, sour.
I won't
sour.
even do it.
Either way, guys,
There's way too much ham, not enough rum.
Poems at Midnight? Do we agree that this is the best beer of the night?
I agree.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Best beer of the
That's,
night. Tantrum
that
Brewing
sounds good.
from what did we say?
Cleveland.
Cleveland, Georgia.
That's it.
That was probably the best for me. I would probably say I like the Oktoberfest the best for me,
Yeah.
followed by this Spicy Boy,
Nope.
No.
and then the IPAs, and probably the stout on the end. But that's not saying it. There was no beer I had tonight that was gross. I would say that just because I like beer, so none of them were gross. The stout was not as rough as I thought it was going to be, because I definitely had some that were like fucking motor oil. They're rough.
Yeah.
Like every sip was like drinking straight whiskey, warm whiskey. Like not so much.
Yeah.
Either way, it's 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
We're an hour past what we usually do.
Yeah.
Because we got off on conversation.
We're just gonna have to go volume 2 and do a sour shootout.
We talked about ham radio. I can save a lot of sours. I've got some.
That'd be cool.
We talked about radio. We talked about failed, like, what is it called?
Infrastructure.
Education.
Oh,
Like,
education. yeah.
education. We talked about
Traveling.
misconceptions and media representations of cultures.
Sending
We talked
dick
about
pics
travel,
over the air.
dick pics over ham radio.
90-year-old
We talked-
sending dick pics.
No.
We talked about beer. It's been a great episode. I actually think that what you do with the radio is much more interesting than that. That's cool and all.
Yeah, it's neat.
Do you know? I'm forgetting his name. Alan. He's done some stuff with Jeremy, and he works in Atlanta. I'll remember his name once I get off the show. I'll find him. He's dating a girl named Brittany. Anyways, I want
But
to
the
thank you
ham
guys.
stuff's cool.
The ham?
The ham.
Oh,
Put your
radio.
ham on the ham.
Yeah, ham on the ham. Ham. Other way, the radio has been cool. The show's been cool. The beer's been cool. The company's been cool. I'm getting ready to end it for the night. Sorry, guys, for the really laggy connection. Like I say, it's at 2.5, 2.6 now, and then it'll drop down to like 0.9. I don't understand it. It might be the manager's way of telling me to fuck off. It's possible.
Thursdays. Q102, thequeenbee.com.
Q102,
10 to
thequeenbee.com.
12. The Hive. Is it still called The Hive? He ain't took the name yet.
It's called
Good
The
deal.
Hive. I'm thinking Sunday mornings gonna be called Sunday Kind of Love, like Etta James reference. And I'm still trying to think about what I want for the
Synthwave?
synth wave on Saturdays. I was thinking about calling it the Midnight or Neon Moon or
Don't
Neon.
call it the Midnight.
Well, why?
That's because that's
'Cause the
I
band.
mean, yeah, but you can't do that to them.
But it's at midnight. It's from midnight
Yeah.
to 2 o'clock. I was thinking about like
wouldn't call
Neon
it.
Moon or Synth
You
Hive.
call
or,
it like Midnight Rider. You could play that. Because Midnight Rider is like Southern rock or.
I want just synth wave. I want the
No. But that's I'm talking about like the name is like, play on Southern rock.
Yeah,
but it's,
fair.
But it's like super synthwave kicking you in the ass.
Yeah, kicking you right in the dick.
I
pic.
couldn't imagine.
The dick pic you're sending right over ham radio.
It's good stuff.
By the way, guys,
Not the dick pic.
it's been awesome. I want to thank you guys for coming
No,
in.
thank you for having us.
I've had a great time coming here, drinking beer, learning about you guys. Next week, guys, we're going to be on a train, hopefully. We're going to be at Thronatisca on a train that's 100 plus years old, drinking beer and hanging out. So that'd be pretty cool. So tune in next week. It'll be 10 for midnight. Hopefully I got the lights and the cameras and all that going okay.